Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. I hope you're having a fantastic day or night or evening or whatever it is that you people have, wherever you are. I hope everyone is well. I just tried this fancy countdown thing. I hope it's nice. Tell me what you think about it. It's not something that I actually prepared. It's just here part of the software. Anyway, who cares? I'm here today with Armin Navabi, whom I wanted to talk to for quite a while about Islam and atheism and other related issues. But then something very chaotic came up, and we have decided to talk. And I've decided that I need to talk to Armin about what is going on right now. First off, Armin, how are you doing?
Good. I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Wonderful. I'm so glad that you're here. It's always nice to talk to you.
Every time there's an excuse to come on your show, I would like it's whatever drama we have to deal with. If it ends up me being here on your channel to talk, it was all worth it. It was all worth it.
Last time we talked, I think it was we were about to go live, and then the thing happened, right? The whole America-Iran thing happened. Iran attacked American. What was that?
That was stressful because because usually I have time to think about it and see the reactions, but that was happening in real time while we were live, and I didn't know my first take on it was going to be good or not. So that was intense.
I was just so excited that we will remember this together. Like when the war started, we were having a live stream. Gladly, the war didn't start, so I guess we good.
Well, I predicted that. I told people like a little before. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, World War III is starting," and I was like, "Yeah, probably not." And yeah, so I was right.
I don't know. I would have been happy about it. We have there are too many people living in this world anyway. Could have. I'm just kidding, everybody. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I am just kidding. I'm just kidding. I didn't say that. I'll cut that out. So we are here today for. By the way, everybody, I'm looking at the live stream, the chat.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking at it.
Sound is good. Hi, everybody. Hi, Deusvold. Hi,
Armin there's one comment saying Armin is brainless.
Yeah, and we can argue that. Yeah. There is this Abdullah Samir, yo AP, where you at? What the hell, Abdullah? How is that how you talk? Is that really how? Do you want me to believe that is how you talk? Yo AP, where you at? I don't believe that is how you talk. Okay.
Is that Abdullah Samir?
Yeah, you cannot convince me that is how you talk, Abdullah Samir. But hey, Abdullah, I'm just kidding.
We're gonna mention Abdullah Samir today. I think he's relevant to today's.
Yeah, he's relevant to the discussion.
He started all of this, by the way.
He started the whole chaos, the whole scandal. Anyway, glad to see you, Abdullah Samir. Glad to see you in the chat. He's laughing. So Armin, I just wanted to say something, but whatever. Let's just go ahead. Maybe we can expand on this discussion even more. So I am I wanted to talk to you primarily because I have seen what has been going on with you and Hinduism and the Hindu goddess Kali and the whole outrage about you. And there was a point where I defended you and supported you, as you have seen. There are other matters where I disagree with you, or where I would like to confront you and ask you about certain things. Yeah, we have to discuss things here today, and you are in an unfamiliar territory, which is not your home. So you shouldn't feel very safe here. You will have no dominance.
All right, goodbye.
I will crush you tonight. Okay, so. What happened? Can you start explaining with what exactly happened with you and Kali and Abdullah Samir and so on?
Well, it all started with Muhammad Hijab going after your wives. That's where it started.
Yeah. Well, if you want to go back there.
Right. This is all. Yeah. It started. So basically, it started with Muhammad Hijab going after your wives. It ended with atheism trending in India for the first time.
Yeah,
That's how that's
that is amazing.
that's the butterfly effect. Oh, you got a super chat from Abdullah Samir. I'm watching.
So I will check that out. So the whole story, if you want to really connect it there, I think it's kind of connected there. Started with Mohammed Hijab had an interview with Yasser Qadi about some the Quran preservation and holes in the narrative that went really chaotic for the Islamic community, for Islam, for Mohammed Hijab and Yasser Qadi. They took their videos down meanwhile because they didn't want Muslims to have doubts. They didn't want the anti-Islamic community, the Islamophobic community, to take things to make Islam look weak and bad. And Mohammed Hijab started having like very big insecurities and meltdowns after that. And at that same time, around that same time, I challenged Mohammed Hijab to a debate because he had challenged me before, but he insulted me, and things kind of went quiet for a while. But then he started talking about me again. So I said, "Hey, if you want to talk to me, let's just have a debate." So I challenged him to a debate. He rejected, accepted, then eventually pretended that he rejected. Then he started insulting my family, told me to commit suicide. Started to go after Abdullah Samir's wife and Abdullah Gondal's wife because they came in and told him to calm down because he attacked me. And Mohammed Hijab went completely berserk. He went completely crazy about these things. And then I went live with David Wood and Abdullah Samir, where David Wood, in response to Mohammed Hijab making veiled rape implications about my wife, David Wood ate a piece of the Quran. That escalated further. I went on and I ripped up the Quran because people were upset about the Quran, but not upset about the fact that Ali Dawah tells me to commit suicide. Then you jumped in and you desecrated, you ripped up the Quran and posted it with the hashtag desecrate the Quran. And then
I said the Bible as well.
Oh yeah, and the Bible, to prove a point. And then that landed on the Indian media.
Right.
And then something happened, right? Do you want to go on from here?
So I think Abdullah Samir, who's in the live chat right now, I think he was having some second thoughts, thinking about what we're doing, whether it's productive, unproductive, childish or immature, or normalizing blasphemy. He was like, I don't know. By the way, I appreciate Abdullah Samir questioning these things, because I think like we need people in the ex-Muslim community second guessing things that we're doing so that it could hold the rest of us accountable, right? Because Abdullah Samir second guessing everything makes me also want to, me having to defend this position makes me also wonder, like, are we doing the right thing, right? So on Twitter, he was like, is this childish? But then he made a video. He was like, he compared it to the piss Christ, he brought the piss Christ controversy, and he was also supporting that as a form of blasphemy. I hope I'm not misrepresenting him, but like then I think he noticed that we are also attracting a whole bunch of right-wing Hindutva people who are really enjoying the fact that we're desecrating the Quran and blaspheming, especially that article OP India that basically featured my video desecrating the Quran got a lot of support. Like, so many Hindutva people were like praising it, supporting it, congratulating me for doing it. And I think and I think Abdullah Samir wasn't very happy, like was concerned about that. He was like, well, like, are we just blaspheming Islam? And I mean, these Hindus, like they also have like religious beliefs that we need to show, like, is one form of blasphemy okay and the other form not? Like, what if we blaspheme against Hinduism, right? And he went and found some very sexy images of these goddesses, and he posted it. And I noticed that he was getting a lot of backlash from Hindus, and he was like, oh, look at the, and he was noticing the hypocrisy, like, oh, what happened? These people that were celebrating us blaspheming against Islam are now like attacking us for blaspheming against Hinduism. And I was like, I need to make sure that my audience also knows what I stand for, right? Because it's really easy when you're like, I think you're responsible for your audience, right? Like, for example, not just like Hindutva, also like a whole bunch of Western far right groups. Every once in a while, I need to make sure that they understand what I represent. You can't be just. I think I used to think like, what? I don't care who I'm attracting, as long as I know what I say. I'm gonna put my content out there, if for some wrong reason it attracts problematic people, that's not my fault. I know what I'm saying. But now I changed my mind on that. I was like no, you are responsible for your audience. I mean, you don't. I'm okay with them following me as long as they know, as long as I'm transparent, and as that I'm against their ideology as well, right? Like, I just have to make that clear, right? They could continue hate watching me or just like I mean, I don't want to completely alienate them, because sometimes they manage to actually change their views as well. But if they stayed, I want them to stay knowing that I'm against everything, well, almost everything that they stand for as well, right? So when it comes to, well, that was the far right people, Western far right people, right? But when it comes to this, I was like, yeah, I need to put more content out there. Like, given that we're attracting so many Hindutva, far right Hindutva people, I need to also make it clear that, guys, I'm blaspheming against Hinduism as well. So I went to Abdullah again. A lot of people, by the way, I went to Abdullah, asked him, like, what do you think I should post? I want to make sure that I'm blaspheming against Hinduism as well. But when I said this, there was a whole bunch of, not a whole bunch, there's a couple of Muslim Twitter accounts and YouTube channels that think like I'm throwing Abdullah Samir under the bus by admitting this. Like, I'm blaming him for admitting this. I'm praising him for doing this. For like
he gave you this amazing idea. Is that
and it's also like making sure, like, guys, like, are we like equal opportunity? Like, are we going after like all taboos, or are we just like for the sake of attracting? Because it's very easy to attract a whole bunch of Hindutva people that would really, really like us to go anti-Islam, but without saying anything against Hinduism. Like, you know, they're looking for ex-Muslims that would hold back against Hinduism, but go all out against Islam. So it's very easy and lucrative to be that ex-Muslim, I think, right? So, but I mean, I don't think they have. I mean, I don't want them to go away, but I don't want them to stay knowing that what we represent. Like, I mean, you put out tweets against them. Abdullah Samir obviously is ahead of all of us with making sure that we're blaspheming against them. I did that. Harris Sultan did that. Sarah Haider did that. Muhammad Sayyid did that. So I think like they're running out of ex-Muslims that would just be silent about, you know, the Hindutva issue. You know, so that's, I mean, I'm glad that so that's why people like Tariq Fatah is like coming out and saying like, forget ex-Muslims, they're still Muslim. Like, just like, I'm your guy. Like, you know, if you want somebody that goes after Islam without actually and even supporting it, with like, that's, you know, like, you know, I'm saying like, I'm proud of our community, our ex-Muslim community, that seems like the vast majority of us is not giving into that very tempting large scale audience that is just right there to take without, like, you know, it's easy to just like not say, you know what, I'm not going to say anything, and just like take advantage of all these people that are ready to just come and watch you bash Islam without saying anything about Hinduism. And I think like, none of us did that, right? I mean, we could talk later about this. It seems like Yasmin Mohammed wants to do that, and I'm calling her out on it. But I'm giving her a chance to respond, because I'm gonna do a video later, in 12 hours, reviewing what Yasmin Mohammed is saying. But before I did that video, I asked her what she's saying. You know, why is she saying this? Just to make sure that if I do a video on it, I gave her a chance to respond, because I don't want to. But yeah, I'm gonna do a video. By the way, do you mind if I do a plug?
Oh yeah. Go. Just a second. I'm very distracted. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I wasn't really here because.
What?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. I just realized because people asked me, hey, did AP take his Quran ripping video down? And I was like, what the hell are people talking about? So I just went on my channel and saw that the Quran ripping video is not publicly available. It's not there. It's not on my channel. So I went into my YouTube studio settings, and it says my video is not there. It is gone. So I went into the video settings itself, and it says that there is a copyright claim on my Quran ripping video, which is
copyright.
Just me ripping up the Quran, which is why YouTube made it invisible. and it is a false copyright claim, and they made it invisible. YouTube actually did that, but based on a false copyright claim, and they didn't even tell me about it. They didn't even send me an email or anything about it. So it's
copyright. Why would they
ridiculous.
do that?
What the hell is going on? Someone made a false copyright claim on my video, on my Quran ripping video, because they were so outraged about it, because it has 1.4 million views. And
but why would YouTube make it invisible?
Because they're stupid. Because YouTube is stupid. They're supposed to have solved this problem long ago, but hey, they just listened to a false copyright claim and take the video down.
Can you?
I'll dispute that.
Yeah, can you actually make a screenshot of the copyright thing and tag YouTube on Twitter? I'll retweet that.
Yeah, and I will dispute that. I will take care of that. I'm sorry. I'm just really. I just realized that, and I was like, what the hell is happening?
What is these people? Yeah.
Anyway,
but I was gonna say, like, if I'm gonna do a video on Yasmin Mohammed's take on all of this in like 11 and a half hours on Atheist Republic. If anybody is like, by the way, you put a link to Atheist Republic YouTube channel in the description.
Atheist Republic YouTube channel link is right here below in the description, so you can always find Armin Navabi is always live. I think twice a day, almost every day.
Twice or once a day,
yeah, or once a day. And the link to his YouTube channel is right there down in the description. If you want to go there and subscribe, he's quite good.
The only times that I'm doing once a day is when I'm like doing a live stream with you, for example. Today is going to be once a day. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. At least you have you can come on mine. That's more than twice a day for you.
Right. By the way, a lot of people think my take on all of this contradicts your take on it, but I don't think it does, because I enjoy religion. Like I don't think like disrespecting religion, like not respecting religion and enjoying religion, I don't think it's a contradiction. I don't think people understand why there's no contradiction. I
think we have some disagreements on this whole matter, but we
do have disagreements for sure, but not. Yeah. I don't think this is the disagreement. Yeah. So, for example, here's how I could simplify it for everybody that still doesn't get it. Okay, I can enjoy Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
Really enjoy it, all the imagery, all the art, the books, everything about it, the moral lessons that you could get from it. I could be in love with all of that. But also, if somebody actually believes that Harry Potter is actually real, Hogwarts is real, and they're actually like packing their bags, trying to go fight Hogwarts, trying to apply, thinking that they're actually a wizard and all of that. If I see somebody like that genuinely believes that, I could think like that is absolutely moronic. That's absolutely insane, and this person's belief does not deserve any respect. Obviously, like I could call that out as insane while enjoying the fantasy of Harry Potter and the world and everything associated with it. Right? Do you see the difference between these two takes? I enjoy Harry Potter. I enjoy the world. I enjoy the art, the visuals, the music, everything about it. But if somebody actually believes any of this is real, and I could even enjoy moral lessons from Harry Potter, which I think there's better moral lessons in Harry Potter than any of the sacred books. But I can even enjoy moral lessons from Harry Potter. But if anybody genuinely believes that this is true, not only do I not respect that, I will call it out as insane and something that we should, if it becomes mainstream, as something that could be extremely dangerous if actually people believe that, right? So, do you see the difference?
Yeah. There are some details about that we need to talk about. So.
Okay.
So, do you want to come to that? I thought you were still going on about the backstory.
Oh no! Okay. Wait, we were done with that. So I took Abdullah Samir advice, and I went and took the art that he posted. I posted that, and a bunch some Hindutva people came and like, this is not even our god. She's like, she has 2 arms. Kelly has 3 arms. Well, 3 arms on each side. Sorry, 6 arms. So I was like, okay, let's find out. And I posted that. Can you show that to people, or is that something too sexy for people, your audience? Is it too hot for your audience to take? Like
it may be, but I will just do it. Give me a second. Remember this decision.
You said no nudity on your channel, but there's no nudity.
There's no nudity.
No, this is the original one. That was not that one. The one that's not the
No,
one that
okay.
went viral.
I know,
That's the one
I
that
know.
I got from Abdullah Samir. Yeah.
I'm aware. I'm just.
Yeah.
I
She
just had
has
that-
2 arms.
So she has 2 arms, but then there was this one, right?
Yes.
You're talking about this one. So you
Yeah.
posted this. You said, "Okay, I'm in love with Hinduism. I never knew you had sexy goddesses like these. Why would anyone pick any other religion?" And you posted this one.
Right?
That was obviously. I mean, it's just a typical. Whoa, you got really pretty ratioed here, pretty bad.
Yeah. 12,000 comments. 4,000 for yeah.
And then someone said, "Hope."
I mean, is
may
that
you
not
meet-
beautiful? Come
May
on,
you
like
meet
come on.
Kalima one day, and you said, "I wish." Okay. So, so what is going on here is that you're obviously making a mockery of what Hindus hold very dear, and
Wait, why is this a mockery? This is genuinely hot. Like
okay, so I need to talk here about how you're misrepresenting the atheist community and the ex-Muslim community by being very hostile and very harsh and bad against people's personal beliefs and values.
Okay.
This is unacceptably disrespectful against people's values. I mean, how do you think? Don't you have any manners? I mean, how do you think that this is in any form or sort acceptable to do?
Tell me why it's not.
I'm just kidding. That's not my take. I'm just kidding. But
Okay.
so what's happening here is that obviously you are making kind of a mockery, right? You're kind of saying, "Hey, this is sexy," but you know that people won't take this well, right?
No, the whole point is that look, people are going to get offended even when I'm not mocking their gods, even if I'm celebrating. That the whole point is like, look, this is going to. First of all, I knew I was going to get a backlash. Let's be honest here. I just didn't know if I just didn't think it's going to get the biggest backlash of my lifetime, right? That's what I didn't expect, right? I have gotten more death threats. Sorry about the construction going out right now. I got more death threats in the past 5 or 6 days than I got more death threats in 3 days than I've gotten death threats from Muslims in the past 15 years. 15 years of me burning the Quran, eating the Quran, pooping out the Quran after eating it, obviously. Having the Allah is the gay sign and going out in the Vancouver Pride Parade with the Allah is gay sign. Having to change addresses twice because of Muslims. Having to get the police involved because of Muslims. 15 years of that. I have it adding all the death threats that I've gotten online in all of that years of activism. The number of death threats that I got do not add up to the number of death threats that I got from Hindutva or
I have to say
Hindus
one thing though.
in 3 days. In 3 days. But go on.
I have to say one thing. So I am very much used to responses, to angry responses, insults, and death threats that you get from Muslims. You know, that I get from Muslims, and I checked out the insults and threats and all that stuff that I got that you got from Hindus, and I compared them. And I have to say, very honestly, I think Hindus are definitely much more creative than Muslims.
Creative is not how I describe it, but okay. I mean,
I would say they're definitely more creative than the Hindus with their responses. I mean, there's definitely much more creativity going on.
They have exposed me and my family to more, to hundreds and hundreds of pornographic images of my mother. I could tell you, I've been following Muslim Twitter as well. And Muslim Twitter, the ones that hate me and go after me, even they're like, what the hell is this? Like, they are shocked. Even Muslim Twitter was shocked with the level of backlash that I was getting. I don't know if you have that tweet from the one that everybody was like, okay, what the hell?
This
Do you
one?
know which one? No, not that one. The reaction. Okay, but let's talk about this one. But I was talking about the one with my mother. But this one really triggered them. And I think a lot of people, I think people in India do not a lot of people in India do not understand
sarcasm.
Yeah, like, do they have jokes?
Sarcasm is a very culture specific thing. We have in the West, sarcasm is very big. It's huge, but in some cultures, it doesn't really deliver the same way. I could tell when you made this tweet that you were obviously being sarcastic.
Do
That
you
you
want to read
weren't.
it? Actually, do you want to read it? I'll explain why people think it's exact opposite of what people think it is.
Yeah. Okay. It says, "Dear Hindus, it's not my fault your goddesses are sexy. Maybe put a hijab on them."
Right. So this actually triggered them so much because a lot of these Hindus, they are so anti-Muslim, and again, they're not anti-Islam, they're anti-Muslim. Okay, that they have to, again, hashtag not all Hindus. Again, I have to. Let me be clear. There are a lot of people from India who are supporting me and actually calling out a lot of this nonsense, and not all of them are atheists. Many of them are also Hindus. Like, I have to thank all the Hindus that are going around. They were going around and reporting every single death threat that I was getting. They were going around and reporting every single pornographic images of my mother that they were seeing. So a lot of Hindus were also saying, like, I actually support Armin's, celebrating our God, and there were some of, and by the way, a lot of them are being attacked. There were some Hindus who are like, yeah, what's wrong with this? Our gods are sexy. And now their families and their wives and their mothers and their daughters are being targeted as well. And some people were there were even some Hindus like, hey, I didn't like Armin's cartoon, but I don't think we should but the reaction is much worse than their cartoon, and now they're being targeted and attacked. Like what? Like some people are like going out. A lot of Hindus in India, they're going around and like deleting their support of me. They're unfollowing me. They're trying to see which tweets of me they like. No, go back to that tweet because I want to talk about that. And they're like unliking the things, unliking the tweets of me that they like. Like they're pulling out. It's insane. But okay, so this tweet.
Even I got attacked over this, and I didn't even say anything. I just said that that you shouldn't be attacked like that. That's all.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So this tweet was saying, like, this tweet was making. Okay, here's the interesting, because a lot of people, what I was saying is, a lot of these Hindus, they're so anti-Muslim that, again, not all, a lot of these Hindus, that everything that they don't like must be Muslim. You know how like the woke mob, the woke people in the West, everything they don't like is far right. Okay, for a lot of Muslims, everything they don't like is Zionist, right? For a lot of Hindus, everything they don't like is Muslim, right? So when they see somebody going after Hinduism, there must be something Islamic about them. So they want to say, like, once I got so many comments of once a Muslim, always a Muslim. So because I was once a Muslim, I'm still Muslim. I got so many comments about Muslim blood, Muslim DNA, as if there's something Islamic, inherently Islamic about me. Once a jihadist, always a jihadist. Because they're like, again, it has to be Muslim. Like, their minds cannot comprehend having multiple sources of people coming at their ideology, so it all has to be Muslim, right? And this tweet for them confirmed that. Like, look, oh, you want to put a hijab on our goddess? This confirms that you are, this is your Islamic upbringing. This is the Muslim in you, like the mask slipping. Like, oh, this is the Muslim in you speaking. But it was the exact opposite, because I'm suggesting like they are acting like the Muslims. I was saying, like, you guys are, because Hinduism is supposed to be a very sex positive religion, right? I mean, when it comes to the traditional old school Hinduism, celebrating sexuality is not something that I blame Hinduism for. There are a whole bunch of other things that I do blame Hinduism for. For example, I'm against karma, I'm against reincarnation, I'm against superstition, I'm against claims without evidence, I'm against the caste system. All of those are original, like, Hinduism related, right? But this whole sex negativity, that's not Hinduism, okay? That is the influence of Islamic imperialism on them, right?
I just find one thing very strange. It's you have received a lot of accusations that you're actually a secret Muslim because you're attacking Hinduism, and even I have received such accusations that I'm actually a secret Muslim because I'm defending your right to say those things, and because I say that people shouldn't attack your family. But what happened then is, like, the next day Muhammad Hijab came into this whole mess, tried to take advantage of the situation and try to defend Hindus attacking you, when we all obviously know that he's a terrible Islamist who would not even allow Hindus to actually exist in his desired country. And many of those same people who accused you and me of being secret Muslims actually went on to like Muhammad Hijab's tweet, which was attacking you, and I found that very ironic. Like, are you kidding me? You and I are the secret jihadis. You and I are the secret Muslims, but they go and like Muhammad Hijab's tweet, which Muhammad Hijab is the ultimate radical Muslim.
Right. And okay, so this has been our secret plan all these years, like 15 years worth of anti-Islam activism. It was all just a secret plan for us to our main target was Hinduism. Okay, this was all just a cover.
Okay, so I have to say is,
let me say this, when I said maybe put a hijab on them, what I was trying to point out is like this is like you guys are acting like Muslims, right? Like you guys are like, oh my God, do not say our God is sexy. Like, okay, why didn't you go full on Islamic and just cover them up? Like, I was accusing them of being acting like Muslims, and they're like, oh, this is your Islam is destroying. No, I'm like, no, this is your Islam that is destroying. You guys came up with sorry. No, I didn't swear. I almost swear. You guys came up with the Kama Sutra. Okay, you guys were supposed to be the religion that, and again, another reason why this is there, and they accuse me of misogyny for celebrating a sexy goddess, because they're like, oh, you're reducing her to a sex object. No, if you acknowledge that somebody is sexy, that doesn't mean there's nothing else about them. If you notice like a male Bollywood actor and say like, oh my God, he's sexy, does that mean that he's not talented just because you're acknowledging that he's sexy? That's not the only thing about them. Okay, yeah, Callie is powerful. She's like, she's amazing. She's like that, but she's also sexy. That's not a contradiction, crying out loud. But here's the thing. I think it's they're accusing me of misogyny for calling her sexy, but it's their misogyny that is showing. You know how is because if I said like, oh, look at Krishna, like look at Vishnu, look at, oh my God, look at his abs, he's like sexy. They would not. This would not have had this backlash. This is male honor, right? This
what the thing is?
This is an ownership over women. They're being protective over them and not letting women express their sexuality. So this is their misogynist culture showing, and they're accusing me of misogyny. But
that's actually a good point related to something that I want to say. So the average Hindu reaction to this is obviously it is different from how you can understand it from a Western perspective. But when you call Kali sexy, and Hindus call her Kali Ma, which means Kali mother Kali, when you call her sexy, then to them it is like you are calling their mother sexy, because to them she's like a spiritual mother. She's like the mother of the Hindus. And when you say hey, your Kali is actually very sexy, and that's like you are calling their mother sexy, and they are very offended over that, because they would give you the same reaction if you publicly said about their actual mother, hey, your mother is very sexy, I like this. If you said that, they would be extremely outraged and would give you that response. So where
have you heard this before? Where have you heard that before? Tell me, you know what I'm talking about?
You mean
haven't you heard Muslims say, oh, you insulting our Prophet Muhammad? You understand that how much you love your mother, how we love our Prophet more than we love our mother. How would you feel like it if somebody came after your mother? Like, again, they keep accusing us of like, oh, this is your Islam is showing, and I'm like, the more I look at you guys, it's your Islam that is showing. It's your Islam that is showing. But I also put a tweet out and said like, hey guys, if you guys could pretend that Kelly is your mother, like if you were playing make believe. Did you see that tweet? I also said like, okay, if you guys could pretend that Kelly is your mother, then I could also pretend that she's my girlfriend, right? And the fact that she's your mother you shouldn't stop your mom from expressing herself sexually. If you don't like her, just don't follow, when me and her are in a relationship, and you just have to respect her choices. Okay, she's your mom, she's my girlfriend. Okay, and again, we're in make-believe land, so we could all do that.
Okay, I agree. I made a tweet in your defense. I said, hey, Armin has every right to say this. He has every right to make mockery, although I myself would not do it. I clearly said I myself would not say Kali is sexy, and I would not engage in this whole stuff. But I think that you have a right to say that. I even said Armin Navabi is like Voltaire. I love it. I said that because I think you're doing this thing, like you're doing this provocative stuff in public, and you don't even care about the backlash, and you just go further. And that's what I always liked about Voltaire, how he was like expressing his criticism and his mockery of things, and he didn't even care a bit about the backlash and the anger that he caused in society. But I said I defend your right to say that, and when people attack your family over that and attack your mother over that, that is outrageous and that is terribly wrong. But here is the thing. Now, I think several points. I think it is completely okay for you or for anybody out there in the world to express such an opinion about Kali or any other god and goddess. It is you have the right to do that. If Kali is a public figure, a public character. She's an idea, a belief. Person one can have a certain belief, a certain idea about that character. Person two can have a different idea, a different belief on that character. And because she is in the public sphere, because she's a public figure, everyone can have an idea, an opinion of her. One person may love Kali, another person may hate Kali, another person may find Kali sexy.
I simp for Kali.
Yeah, no one can say anything about that. No one can tell you, hey, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that. That doesn't work. But okay, it is true that Kali is a very important Hindu value. Hindus value Kali very much because of the importance that she carries as a mother figure in Hinduism. Now, that's a culture-sensitive issue. If you go out and say, hey, Kali is very sexy, that's why I love Hinduism, people are obviously going to be outraged. Now, you can say that's their problem and that's their wrong thinking, because they wouldn't be outraged if I called Krishna sexy, for example. And that is actually their wrong thinking.
We're gonna make art with Krishna and Muhammad making out with each other. That's our third art on Atheist Republic. We're gonna make that. Thank you to all the patrons who are funding all this art that we're gonna make. But go on.
Wonderful. Now, you decide to do that because you believe that people should do mockery about superstitious beliefs, about myths like Kali, for example. And you only
if there's a red line. I don't think there's any point.
Okay.
I
think you wouldn't do it if people didn't react to it strongly. You wouldn't have pursued.
For example, if I go mock like one of the gods of Norse mythology, nobody will give a crap. Nobody will give a crap. So I mean, there's no red line being drawn that I need to piss on, right? My activism is pissing on red lines, right? Normalizing blasphemy, normalizing dissent, removing the barriers to freedom of expression. If there is no barrier, makes no sense for me to. Here's the difference, okay? Let me give you an example that I give Muslims every time they tell me, like, hey, what if I insulted your mom, right? This is the example I give Muslims, right? Like, listen, if I like started making cartoons about mom and you're like, dude, why are you doing this? This is hurting my feelings. I would be like, okay, I'm sorry. I would be like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I'm not sadistic.
That sounds so innocent.
I'm not gonna just like. Why would I hurt someone's feeling just for the sake of hurting them? I'm not gonna do that. Like that sounds like really bizarre and sadistic and a dick move to make, right? But I don't get pleasure out of seeing people uncomfortable. But what if your mom was a politician? Like, so when they're trying to compare their mother to Muhammad, I'm like, this is not a very good comparison. Let's make our analogy a little bit more accurate. What if your mom was a politician and she didn't like that some people were making fun of her, and now she's trying to pass a law to stop people from making fun of her, and in places where she has no authority, she's trying to get her followers to intimidate people who are making fun of her. In that scenario, now this is getting closer to Muhammad, or in this situation, Kali. In that situation, I want to make sure that we go out of our way to start making fun of your mother, because Now, there's a red line being drawn, and if we don't piss on these red lines are going to eventually turn into walls, right? So now I see it my duty and my activism to go make fun of your mom. The fact that you are pissed off, the fact that this is bothering you, that is that is a side effect of this. That is not the goal. The goal is to tell people, like, it's okay to be offended. Like, some people say, like, oh, don't get offended. It's okay to be offended, and it's okay to also request people not to be offensive. It's not okay to demand people not to be offensive. It's your responsibility to limit the content that you're exposed to. It's not the responsibility of the artists or the content creators or the people who share the content or share the art. It's not their responsibility to tiptoe around your standards. It's really easy. The people who are seeing our art or our content, they are coming to us. More people have found Sexy Callie through people being offended. Like, the people that are getting offended, like the people that are exposed to Sexy Callie are mostly exposed to it because of this offense brigade, because of the people who are attacking me. Like, if you are exposed to Sexy Callie and you didn't like being exposed to Sexy Callie, it's the people who are attacking me that are exposing you to Sexy Callie. Everybody else is just coming. Yeah, go. Sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. I was just trying to calm you down. Okay, let me go ahead. I said you have the right to make fun of Callie.
Right.
Here is the issue that I have a problem with. I think it's a culture-sensitive issue. I think it's unnecessary to make fun of Callie or to, mock Callie or to call her sexy. Obviously the intention here is the intention here is mockery, because that people will be outraged by calling her sexy.
Let's be clear. Just because I think people are going to be outraged, that doesn't mean it was mockery. I mean, I am going to start doing mockery. I don't think there's anything wrong with mockery, but I started with not mockery.
Okay. Yeah. Let's say provocation. Okay, let's say provocation. Yeah. So the intent here was provocation. Now, right. I can. There are certain issues that I have here. There are so many issues that I have with this. But number one is I cannot compare this issue with Muhammad, because when we look at Muhammad, for example, Muhammad was a figure who actually has a direct impact on the lives of many people in a very negative and very bad way. He was not just a religious figure; he was also at the same time a secular leader, a politician. He founded a government. He expanded that government through war. Allegedly, whatever. Yeah, allegedly, he expanded that government. Allegedly, he gave it to other people, to his successors, who expanded it further on and conquered lands and imposed people on other civilizations. And of course, as a result, I was, for example, indoctrinated with Islam. Islam was forced into my life before I was born. Same here. So same with you. So it is completely normal for me to have a very strong opinion on Muhammad and to say, hey. F Muhammad, or to say these things, and there is a reason to that. There is a reason to why we do that. There is an actual motive, an actual meaningful reason to do that. Now with Callie, I cannot find a meaningful reason to do it, except to, as you said, desensitize the population, because you think that that people would be a little bit protective and a little bit outraged about Callie, so you think you should desensitize people by calling her sexy.
Haven't I demonstrated that this does need to be desensitized? Haven't I demonstrated that?
But do you agree that is the way? Because there is you can approach things in, like, I don't think that Callie,
it's not the way, it's a way.
I don't think Callie in and of itself, like the concept of Callie, I don't think it is harmful to society at all. I don't think there's anything harmful.
Callie is wonderful. I love Callie. Okay. I have a crush on Callie. Okay. I simp for Callie. So no, Callie is not the problem. People's reaction to me calling her sexy, that's the problem. Okay, so I don't have any. Callie I celebrate Hindu mythology as long as people don't believe in it. I love Hindu mythology. I love all mythology. I even like Islamic mythology. Okay, I just don't like it when people actually think it's real. But the Callie herself is not the problem. People being so protective over their ideas, and the reaction. I mean, come on. I have at least 3 police legal and police filing against me in India, right? I can't imagine what I would be feeling like right now if I was India. Like, I I might be complaining, oh, look at these death threats. Oh, I have legal complaints filed against me. Boo hoo hoo. Oh, they're making pornographic images of my mom. I mean, okay, it doesn't matter. Like, but what about the people who are in India, right? Like the level of intimidation, like our fans or followers in India, like what about like, given the reaction that I'm seeing, even not even being in India, I can't help but feel sorry for the limitations of freedom of expressions in India. And again, you might be like, Armin, this is not anything compared to Islamic countries. And I agree with you that I agree. Okay. India is far, far eons ahead of countries like Saudi Arabia, Iran, Pakistan, Bangladesh. Even India is even ahead of the best of Islamic countries, right? India is ahead of Tunisia and Malaysia when it comes to, I mean, maybe it's getting close there. I don't know. Actually, I have to think about that. But India is even ahead of the best of the Islamic countries. But you cannot deny that's a low standard. I mean, that's a very low standard. Being better than Islam.
Or do you think you have a say in
that? What?
Do you think you have a say in that? What people think when they view this matter is that you are being culturally ignorant or culturally insensitive, and you are reaching.
I am being culturally.
You're interfering with the culture of other people and imposing your Western standards of your Western ideology of free speech into India.
Not Western Enlightenment standards, and yes, all of that is true.
That is Western.
No, okay. So here's the thing: the reason why I call Enlightenment values not Western values, right? Because they don't belong to the West; they belong to the world. Okay, Enlightenment values just so happen to be popular. First of all, the reason why I don't call them Western values is because Western values are not just Enlightenment values. Western values also include Nazism. Western values Western values also include communism, which came out of Germany, right? So I hate those values. So the reason why I don't say Western values, I say Enlightenment values, is because certain ideas that came out of the West that I enjoy, not those other crap. And also, I think by calling them Enlightenment values, it's easier to. I mean, these values worked in non-Western countries as well. Enlightenment values are the reason why South Korea is better than North Korea, why Hong Kong is better than China, why Japan is such a great country, right? So these values work in every country that it becomes mainstream, right? So Enlightenment values, not Western values. And am I being insensitive to other people's inferior culture? Yes, I am. Okay. Yes, I am. Am I trying to impose Enlightenment values over their shitty backward values?
Whoa.
Yeah, I am. Proudly so. And I am doing that with the support of many other Indians who also want to. Let's be clear what we mean by culture.
This is why I said Armin Navabi is like Voltaire. This is exactly the reason.
No, but again, okay. So here's the thing: culture has two completely different meanings, and I think sometimes people, and I don't even know why we're using the same word for these two things, because they're completely separate. I think we should be clear what I mean when I'm trying. Yeah. See, here's the thing: inferior cultures need to die. They need to be eradicated and be replaced with. Well, okay. So here's the thing. Let me be clear. Culture either means traditions, or it means values. Okay. I don't have any problem with the tradition in fact, I love it. In fact, more of it, the better. Okay. So if we're talking about culture when it comes to values, yes. Inferior values, inferior ways of life need to die out in favor of superior values that have proven to bring highest number of people out of misery. And again, if you want to see why these values work, I suggest Steven Pinker's book Enlightenment Now. We have beyond reasonable doubt data to show that how these values are superior.
You're wanting to impose your supremacist imperialist white culture onto the rest of the world.
It's not white,
and force them to change their ways, force them to change their culture, force them to be white, force them to be subjugated and to kneel in front of the superior white man. That's what you want. That's what you want here.
That's your framing of it. No, first of all, it's not forcing. It's an invitation. Nobody's being forced. Unlike
How is it an invitation? You're saying you're forcing everybody to read about your sexicality. How
am I forcing everybody? They're going. Am I forcing?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. You know. There's you can block me on Twitter, right? You know that's a thing,
I know. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Of course.
So that's okay. But so when it comes to values, there are superior values and there are inferior values, and the inferior values, they need to be eradicated. Okay, they need to die out. The marketplace, of different ideas need to like make them go extinct. Okay, so that's that. When it comes to traditions, so that's another side of what we mean by culture. None of it should be eradicated. In fact, it should be shared, celebrated. So when it comes to tradition, what do we mean? We're talking about dance. We're talking about art. We're talking about calligraphy. We're talking about paintings. We're talking about music. We're talking about fashion. We're talking about food. That side of culture, that should be none of it should be eradicated. In fact, it's worth a lot of influence in preserving it. In fact, every country could bring in share other cultures, add on to other cultures, make other cultures, mix and match cultures with each other, and infusions of, when it comes to that side of culture, I'm against like all these far right, like Western far right people that are like, oh, let's preserve our culture. We don't want these other arts and music and all this. No, I want more people to have more options, have a more, and again, I don't think that where you're born and what your ethnicity is matters when it comes to the traditions and the mythology and the stories and the art and the food that you enjoy, right? I think every country should be able to import and export as much traditions as they want, so that their citizens, their people can, even without traveling, being able to enjoy a much higher variety of culture. And I think, and this is exactly why I think that India, you don't own Cali, okay? Cali is for the entire world to enjoy, and the entire world can enjoy Cali in their own way, and they could. I can change her. They could add to her story. They could remove for her story. They could change how she looks. You don't, again, these traditions and art, especially this kind of art, like ancient art, does not have any copyright. There's no intellectual property rights. And there's nothing you guys could do to stop me from enjoying Kelly the way I want to enjoy. You don't own her. Sorry, you lost your chance thousands of years ago to file a copyright on Kelly, and now because you missed your opportunity, she's mine as much as she's yours. I don't care that I'm not India. I don't care that I'm not. Okay. And hey, you could again. And if you are Indian, here's the news. If you're Indian and you enjoy Hindu mythology, I have good news for you. Every other country also has their own mythology and culture and tradition and art, and you're not limited to enjoying the culture and the history and the mythology of the place that you've been born in. You see how beautiful your culture and your traditions are. There's so much more out there in the world. You're not limited to that. Imagine, given how detailed your mythology and how interesting it is, you think about Greek mythology, Roman mythology, Egyptian mythology, Zoroastrian mythology. Hey, you Hindutva people that hate Islam, I hate Islam as well. But guess what? Islam has amazing stories, and there's some awesome art.
Islam has amazing stories. What are you talking about, man?
Come on, the stories. Okay, come on. The stories are interesting.
To be honest, I don't think Islam has any interesting stories. I think the only interesting stories that it has adopted from the Bible.
So did everybody else. Everybody else got. Where did you think other people got their stories? Do you think they just created their stories out of the vacuum?
No, of course, no. Stories are very much adopted, but I think in Islam there is no actually coherent full story. Much of the story knowledge in Islam is based on.
I enjoy fan fiction of other people's stories. I like people putting their own spin to it. I like the jinns and their origins. I like the the demonology of like ancient Jews and their influence on their perspective on jinns in Islam, right? I like
Okay.
I like investigating how Hellenism impacted Islam. I like to see how Muslims, how this verse in the Bible, how did that affect this verse in the Quran, and how did that evolve people? How do Muslims see this verse that they copied from the Bible differently? These are interesting stuff. This is interesting stuff. Again, I tell Muslims, like, you have no idea how much more fun Islam is once you stop believing in it, right? It is
It
fun
is.
if you
It's true.
don't
It's true.
believe in it. Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I think. One thing that I definitely agree with. Okay, so I have voiced some criticism at what you're doing just because of certain holes that are there in what I think you're doing. But so here are all the things that I kind of completely agree with you on, and that I completely disagree with the Hindus on. Number one. No one has a right to claim Kali and to say, "Hey, you can do this with her, and you cannot do that with her." If people want to love Kali and consider her their mother, it is completely in your right to use her in a different way. For example, I would love to. It's completely okay by me to make cartoons of Kali, or to use her as a superhero in a cartoon, and to make her look sexy or whatever it is. It's okay to have a poster on her, a fantasy poster on her, a comic of her in which she looks in different ways. It's okay to do that with everything out there. It's okay to do that with all kinds of religious figures and beliefs. That is completely fine, and no one in the world can say anything about that. You can do that for yourself if you want to, and people don't have any right over that. They don't own her. That's completely true. That's completely right. One issue that I also have with this is, obviously, we haven't talked about it, but in response to you calling Kali sexy, many people who wanted to defend Kali, who wanted to defend her honor, I guess, came after your mother and said, "What would you think if we insulted your wife and your mother and this and that?" And they came after your mother and your wife. Now, I have to say one thing. That was completely disgusting, and it is absolutely not an equivalent to you calling Kali sexy. We can directly show this on the screen. This was the biggest, the most disgusting example, where one person said, grouping
That's my
up for
mom.
a gangbang.
That's my mom just a few minutes after she died.
So this is Armin's mother. She's dead in her deathbed. Armin is above her. Family is around her. She's dead. And someone said grouping up for a gangbang. This is supposed to be in retaliation of to Armin Navabi calling Kali sexy. And over 4,600 people have liked this tweet, right. And many more have probably agreed with this tweet. So people actually think that this is an appropriate response, an appropriate retaliation to Armin Navabi calling Kali Ma sexy and saying, "Hey, I love Hinduism because she's sexy." And many people who engage in an activity like this have also, we cannot show those here, but they have also engaged in photoshopping Armin's mother's face onto porn stars and porn characters, and depicting Armin's wife and his mother in these porn pictures, porn photos and acts, and have said, "We are allowed to do this because you also insult our mother, Kali Ma." So I have to say one thing here. This is completely disgusting, and this is not the equivalent of Armin calling Kali sexy. It is in no way, on no level, the same thing. It cannot be the same thing. Even if you think it is the same thing, it is not. Here is another example of someone offering a prize for whoever beheads Armin Navabi. And
and they tell me my Islam is showing.
Yeah. And so I want to say one thing. You cannot go ahead and say, "Hey, Armin is insulting Kali Ma, so we are also allowed to insult his wife and his mother and himself." That's not the same thing. Kali Ma is, as said, a public figure, a public character. Everyone can think about her what he or she wants to think. If you don't agree with what other people think, the equivalent of that is not to attack Armin's mother. The difference here is, in case it is not very obvious, the difference here is that Kali Ma is a character that is not existent in our time. She's not an actual person. She's not a figure, an individual that we can point at. Nobody can say, "Hey, look, this is Kali Ma." This is her ID. This is her identity. This is her name. This is where she lives. This is what she does during the day. This is where she works. This is where she went to school. No one can say that. No one can say that. All you can do is to claim that she did exist at some point, or that she does exist in a divine shape and form, and that you believe in her, that you venerate her and worship her and get inspiration from her. That's all you have. If you want to say, hey, to me, she is a mother, so it's basically the same as Armin Navabi's mother. That is just how you view it, but you cannot really impose that way of thinking on everybody else, because Armin's mother is an individual who actually exists. You can actually point at her. You have an actual picture, an actual photo of her. You can say, this is his mother, this is her name, this is where she went to school, this is where she worked, this is what she did, and she died here. The relationship between Armin and his mother is a relationship that is completely on a personal level. Here are 2 points. Number one, she is his actual mother. Armin actually came out of her, biologically speaking, and we all know that. She's not a myth. You cannot equate that to Kali. Just because she died, just because she doesn't exist anymore, it is not the same. She's not a myth. She actually existed, actually died. Armin has many memories of her, and she's now dead. Number two is that your relationship with Kali Ma is a relationship that is completely dependent on feelings and on beliefs, whereas Armin's relationship with his mother is completely one that is private between him and his mother. His mother is not a public figure. His mother is not out there for everyone to have an opinion on, for everyone to believe in or to get inspiration from. His mother maybe never wanted to be a public figure, never wanted to be seen in the public. His mother is a private person, and all that is there is that his mother has a private relationship with her son in a completely natural and private way. There is absolutely no way that you can equate this to you and your imaginary relationship, your religious relationship to Kali Ma, whom you call mother because of your religion. It is in no way ever the same thing. You cannot equate that. You cannot compare that. There is no such thing. It is stupid. Unacceptably stupid. And the same thing goes for Armin's wife. I guess everybody has kind of gotten the point here. This is not comparable. Now, another point, sorry, I will let you speak, Armin. Another point is the matter of free speech. Now, people say that this is, I think, people fail to understand what free speech is and what free speech is about, and why we talk about free speech. Oh my God,
that's actually huge. A lot of people in India, yeah.
Let me go into it. Now, we say when we criticize beliefs that this is free speech, and that we fight for free speech, that free speech should exist, that we should be legally allowed to express our opinions, that we should be allowed to express criticism against, publicly held beliefs. And as a response, people say, well, I can insult your wife. Why are you and your mother? Why are you upset about that? It's free speech, isn't it? But that's not what free speech is about. Free speech doesn't mean nobody should be offended by it. Free speech doesn't mean nobody should be disturbed by it. Free speech doesn't mean any of that. Free speech just means that people should be allowed to express their opinions. It has nothing to do with the topic of being offended or not offended. So to say, hey, this is also free speech. I can insult your mother. I can put your mother on a porn star's head. This is also free speech. Haha, deal with it. When you say that, you're pointing out that you don't really understand why we are talking about free speech. That's not what free speech is about. That being offended or not offended is not what free speech is about. That's not what it is. Free speech just means you are allowed to say it, not that people should be accepting and should be indifferent about it.
Yeah, again, this shows how far behind we are when it comes to even explaining in this most simple of all enlightenment values. And the most important, when it comes to the enlightenment values, freedom of expression is the highest priority one in defending, right? And I see my activism as defending enlightenment values against all her enemies, right? That is what I do. That is my job. And again, I always tell people the main enemies of enlightenment values are Islam, Christianity, far right Western ideology, woke dogma, Hindutva, and the CCP. Okay, these are the 6 great enemies of enlightenment values, and my job is to defend them against all of them. But we also need to go beyond that, and we need to promote enlightenment values. And this is one indication that people don't even understand what free speech is. They're like, why are you complaining? This is my freedom of expression. My freedom of expression doesn't mean that I don't respond. Freedom of expression does. Yeah, I mean, here's the interesting thing. I didn't file a lawsuit against you guys. You guys, you're making pornographic images of my mom. You're saying everything. I mean, I'm just highlighting you. You want to keep going? Keep going. Keep doing everything you're doing. I mean, you guys are playing into my hands. You understand that I'm an anti-theist. My activism is anti-theism. And you guys are doing this. And all I have to do is like, hey, world, look. And you have done decades worth of whitewashing and PR for Hinduism. You guys have played on my side in undoing all of that to the world in 3 days. Like, I couldn't have done what you have done to the image of Hinduism globally with an entire army on my side. I could have only done it with you guys going after me like this. You guys did this for me. You guys were my army. You did it all for free, all in a matter of 3 days. Like, you have no idea how much damage you have done to your reputation as a religion. And yes, it is a fake effing religion. Okay, see, I'm not swearing on your channel. See, I'm doing a good job. Okay, but no, but here's another thing. Okay, this is the line that I use. And if you don't understand what freedom of expression means after I tell you this, then you're a moron. Okay, freedom of expression doesn't mean freedom from consequences. Freedom of expression means freedom from legal consequences. So, if I like, hey world, look at these idiots, look at what they're doing. If you come like, why this is okay for us to do that, freedom of expression. Yeah, I didn't stop you. Keep going. Good. Keep going. I didn't stop you. But when you guys come and file lawsuits against me, file police reports against me, that is a violation of free speech. That is a limitation to free speech. And that is exposing your country, India, as not being on the side of freedom of expression and freedom of speech. You guys still have yes, congratulations. You're not as bad as Pakistan. You're not as bad as the worst countries out there. Whoopie-doo. Do you want a medal for that? I'm gonna send a cookie emoji every time somebody says like, we're not as bad as at least we don't behead people. At least we don't burn down cities. You want a cookie for not burning down cities?
So here are 3 main points. I think Muslims also quite often have a problem understanding this. I have recently had this issue when I ripped up the Quran, and when I had my issue with Muhammad hijab and all that. Many of the Muslims came back to me saying, well, this is my freedom of speech, this is your freedom of speech. But here is what freedom of speech is. Freedom of speech means you are allowed to say and express certain things. Freedom of speech does not mean that no one can be offended by what you say, and that you maybe shouldn't say some things because it may not be very decent to say. So yes, it may be allowed to say that specific thing. That is point number 1. But some things that you say may be deeply personally offensive to people. So maybe you should abstain from saying those things. So maybe it is not the best idea to say those things, like attacking people's mothers or people's wives, or making
I would be happy,
or harassing people.
I would be happy to refrain from offending people if it was a request.
No, I'm talking about them and your mother, for example. And number 3 is also an issue. Number three, freedom of speech does not mean that everybody has to listen to what you are saying. So you may be allowed to express your opinions. You may be allowed to say certain things under free speech, but another person doesn't have to respond to you, doesn't have to interact with you, doesn't have to listen to you, doesn't have to read you. Another person can just choose to, for example, block you on Twitter. Blocking you on Twitter, for example, is in no way contrary to free speech. It just means the person doesn't want to listen to you, doesn't want to interact with you, but you are still allowed to say whatever you want to say, even if the person that you want to say to doesn't want to listen to you. That is free speech. That is in alignment with free speech. So these are some clear lines that people really need to understand about that.
The example I give, like if I'm for free speech, like let's say I'm for free speech, and then somebody comes and imagine like somebody's like, oh yeah, I support free speech. Imagine I just barge into their house and like go into the living room while their family is eating dinner and I'll just jump on their dinner table and I start reading like the Communist Manifesto to them, like, hey, I'm gonna read this to you, and you should just listen and sit here. If you kick me out of your house, if you call the police, you are not for free speech. You have to sit here and just take it. Like what? They don't. Yeah. I mean, they don't get it. But again, this is our failure as the cheerleaders and the champions for enlightenment values. We have failed to explain this to people, and we have failed to advert, because for a long time enlightenment values, they have been so good, and they have been so effective at bringing the highest number of people out of misery and making the highest number of people happier than they used to be, that for a long time people assumed that, you know what, the result speaks for themselves. Why do we need to market them? And because they weren't marketed, because they weren't being promoted, Islam tried to come and claim credit for a lot of the progress of enlightenment values. Christianity like, oh yeah, Western countries are great because of Judeo-Christian values. No way. Far right people are like, oh, this is because we're white. This is why we're great countries. No, it's not because you're white. It's because of the enlightenment values. Woke people try to come and take advantage of that. No, yeah, woke people try to be like, oh yeah, this is pro-minority, this is pro-trans, and then to try to take that and turn that into something that it wasn't. They try to hijack the civil rights movements that came out of the enlightenment value and they try to make a Frankenstein monster out of it. And because we are not guarding it, and because we're not explaining it, and because we're not promoting it, her enemies, all enlightenment value enemies are coming in and trying to take a piece out of it. And that's why we need to do a better job as the champions and the defenders of enlightenment values. We need
you're taking credit.
What?
Now you're taking credit.
No, I have data. I have data to back up the claim that why the enlightenment values are actually real. I don't claim credit because I don't deserve credit. I'm actually taking blame. I'm doing the opposite. Okay. I'm saying we failed.
Good point. Yeah. Good point. I missed that. I forgot that. No, good point. Yeah. Good point. Well made. I agree with that. So, just an example to free speech. You are an individual in a country like America, for example, and you have an opinion, you have an idea. You go to the authorities, to the state, to the federals, to the government, and you ask them, hey, am I allowed to express this opinion? And the government says, yes, you are allowed to express this opinion because this is free speech. And you're like, oh, okay, good. I am allowed to express this opinion. Wonderful, fantastic. That is free speech. Now you want to go and look for a place, a venue, a stage where you want to express your opinion. So you look around and you find a place and you say, hey, can I use your stage to express this opinion? And they look at you and say, no, we don't want to give you this stage. Please go and express it at a different place. And you say, but why? I thought there is free speech. But those people say, yeah, you have free speech. You have free speech. You have the permission to express your opinions within this country, but we don't have to give you our stage to express those opinions. But you are free to go and find your own stage or find a different stage to express those opinions. That is what free speech is about.
Yeah, free speech doesn't mean you have the right to every platform. It could be considered censorship, but not a violation of your free speech, right? So for example, when Atheist Republic's Facebook page was removed from Facebook, and then we got it back, right? So we raised hell. We were telling Facebook that this is censorship and this is a bad idea. When we said, but a lot of people came and trying to defending us, they were like, oh, this is a violation of your free speech. What happened to free speech? But even though we were the victims of that decision by Facebook, we were like, guys, no, this is not a violation of our free speech. We can still speak. This is just bad. We just think this is a bad idea. We think this is censorship. We're still against it. We can still be against it without claiming that this is a violation of our free speech. Well, what did you see?
Someone left a comment. I think that was in relation to what I just said about the stage, but someone said, and then a jihadist comes and blows it up or something like that. Is that about the stage that we're talking?
I don't know. Okay, whatever. By the way, I also got my event in a university in Calgary was canceled because of the Christchurch shooting, right? I was going to go talk about Islam and my anti-reform argument, anti-Islamic reform argument. Are you still thinking about that comment?
I'm just visualizing it.
Okay. But again, a lot of people, we tried to fight back against that. We told them it was a bad idea. We told them, like, imagine if you shut down an imam's speech just because there was a Islamic terrorist attack, like, you wouldn't do that, right? So we told them this is a bad idea. But again, we never said that our free speech was violated. A lot of our defenders came out like, oh, what happened to Armin's freedom of speech? You have to get, why is his event canceled? But I never said that my free speech was violated. I never claimed that because I understand like what free speech actually means. But anyways, when it comes to exercising my freedom of speech, we're going to escalate, by the way. You guys do understand this, that we're not going to, when people come and trying to intimidate you, instead of taking a step back, we're going to take 10 steps forward, because we have to, just like Dry Muhammad Day that normalized blasphemy, just like Dry Muhammad Day that made it so now that Muslims by and large are desensitized to Dry Muhammad. They're still sensitive. I mean, there's still some reaction to it, but come on, like, embassies are not being burned down anymore because you draw Muhammad.
Man, so, I was just thinking about this yesterday. I ripped up the Quran. It went viral in Indonesia and everywhere. And if I had done this thing that I did 15 years ago, this would have caused massive reactions. People would have gone into the streets. People would have started riots and protests. They would have burned stuff.
So it works. People say like, oh, this.
I ripped up the Quran and nothing happens except some young people sending me dumb death threats that are not believable. So something has changed.
So this works. Again, you don't take a step back. You don't get intimidated. You actually double down, and it works. So here's the thing. I'll tell you this to your audience, okay?
But I have to say one thing. I ripped up the Quran because people said I should be killed for leaving Islam. That's the difference.
Right. So. Yeah. But here's the thing. A few years ago now, when I post a very sexy, classy, elegant, not derogatory, not pornographic, but explicitly sexy image of a goddess on Atheist Republic and on my personal account, and it gets zero reactions, like it's silence, like people are just like, oh yeah, this is pretty, but there's very little people offended. A few years from now, then I'm going to come to you and say, you're welcome, India.
Yep.
Is there anything else you want me to solve for you? Are there any other problems that you want? Do you want me to like go after the caste system next? Like you're welcome. Okay, so this is in the spirit of normalizing blasphemy. So here's the thing, because I promised everybody that when Atheist Republic gets to 150 patrons, we're going to start making our own built-in Atheist Republic sexy Callies, right? But we're gonna do it once every month, right? So we already had that. We already had 150 patrons, like faster than I could have imagined. So thank you, Hendutva. Like, you have done 8 months worth of progress and marketing and content creation. 8 months worth of progress. You did that for me in 4 or 5 days. Thank you so much for that. But now we're gonna make the first design that we're gonna make is gonna be sexy Callie, our own Atheist Republic sexy Callie, and we're gonna post it there for everybody for free to use. But we're gonna maintain the commercial rights too, so that we could put it on t-shirts and everything like that. And then the second month, we're gonna make Callie making out with Sita. At first I thought I'm gonna do Durgama, but now I'm gonna do it with Sita, because apparently Durgama is Callie. Like, as Durgama cloned herself and Callie came out of that, so it would be weird for her to maybe making out with herself. But it's gonna be a lesbian kiss between Sita and Callie. That's gonna be our second design. So that's in second month we're gonna do that. Third month we're gonna have a design between Muhammad making out with Krishna. Okay, so Muhammad and Krishna making out, like a very juicy kiss with each other. Again, I was going to only make sexy Hindu goddesses, but there was a lot of gay men and straight women that demanded that they want sexy gods and gods as well. So I was like, okay, fine. I guess we do Krishna, but they thought, like, you know what? Let's go after Islam a little bit as well. Like, we bring Hinduism and Islam together in peace, and also celebrate LGBT stuff together.
But the more accurate thing would be that Muhammad would behead Krishna, probably, right?
We're trying to. We're making our own version of Muhammad. I know. Okay, this is all fiction. It's all fair games.
I know. So, I understand. I don't endorse this. I don't agree with it. But you know what? I support the existence of it.
Can you show some of the drafts that we have right now?
Do you really want to do that? Okay, sure, we can do that.
Yeah.
You know what I should do, by the way? I think I should be is that called a mediator? Is that what it's called? I should sit here and bring you together with one of those big Hindu voices that are angry about this issue, with a very with someone who is very coherent about these things and have a conversation between you and them,
I love that.
and sit in the middle of it. Like people mentioned true Indology, for example. I don't know if he or whoever that is has a
I would love
YouTube
that. I already
already
invited him, but he's too sensitive to talk to me.
Yeah.
But
so if anyone has a big voice,
I have put an open invitation to him or her out there.
If anyone has a big voice, like a huge voice, and wants to sit here discuss with Armin Navabi,
can I tell you what the fourth design is going to be? The fourth design is going to be back to Callie again, and she's going to be flogging Muhammad in a bondage. Muhammad is going to be in bondage, and Callie is going to be flogging her, and it's going to be like a BDS celebration of BDSM as well. Okay, so this is for the Hindutva that don't like you were like, oh, why are you putting hijab on Callie? We don't like that. I'm like, oh, you want to dominate over Islam? Let's put Muhammad in bondage and make Callie dominate over Muhammad. You guys should like that, right? So that's something in favor of Hindus. Oh yeah, so this is like these are just the original drafts. I'm trying to pick which one. This is like I think this one so far is my favorite. I'm not sure exactly. Like I give it 4 stars. I wanted the blue to be less dark. I put like an Atheist Republic logo tattoo on her here just to make sure that she's ours. She belongs to Atheist Republic. But again, I'm gonna tell the artist to make it full body. There's some other submissions that are coming in. So far, this one I like the more. I don't know. Is this one better? I don't know if this one is better, but I think I'm gonna go with this one for now. But again, these are the submissions that I'm getting from artists right now. And this one, I'm gonna ask the artist to make some changes to this one.
I want to say something quickly. There is this person, Sharan Ravi Gopal, who put a comment here, who quoted me because I said on Twitter, I wonder if Muhammad Hijab has his incel fans over sometime so they can together enjoy his mother. And this person who has posted this comment is quoting me here. I think he thinks that I don't want this to be seen in public because that would kind of expose me of being guilty of double standards in this matter in terms of attacking people's families. But not at all. I don't have a problem with this at all. Like, I want to put this out here. In fact, I made a public tweet about this in which I said that I said this on Twitter, and in which I explained why I said this, and in which I also said that this was not very good. Not a very good representation of me, which is why I deleted it and took it back. But so number one, I actually immediately deleted this and took it back because I thought, hey, this is kind of unbecoming of me. This is not who I am. This is not how I interact with people.
Oh, wow. Look at you accepting criticism.
Yeah, but the issue here is that this is absolutely not comparable to people saying something about people's mothers and wives because of some goddess or whatever it is. What happened here is that Muhammad Hijab for weeks attacked my wife and my mother and my family and everybody. And I was sitting there one day, and I was kind of trying to ignore these things and just laughing about it, just being handling stuff with the police, which is, by the way, looking into all this stuff because Muhammad Hijab obviously clearly incited people to harass me and my family, tried to dox me, made veiled threats, and so on. But one day I was sitting there, and my wife received a message. And at the same time, I was just looking on my screen, and on my screen it literally said something like, "Hey, is it okay for us to rape your wife?" And that was from a supporter of Muhammad Hijab. And at the same time, my wife was telling me about how she received like a bunch of spam in which she was told, "Hey, the internet is a dangerous place. I know where you live. Be careful." Something like that. And in that moment, I received that, where someone says, "Is it okay for us to rape your wife?" At the same time, someone sends my wife that, and I just suddenly, I just started boiling inside. And so I posted this on Twitter to Muhammad Hijab just to see how he reacts to that. And then I thought, come on, it's really not worth it. Forget about that. So I deleted it, and that's what happened. So this is completely not an equivalent of what you did, and I admit to having said this. And I actually don't feel bad about saying this at all in regards to how Muhammad Hijab was offended by this. I don't care at all. I could say worse things about Muhammad Hijab. I just think that I shouldn't have involved Muhammad Hijab's mother because she's not part of this. Although he has said everything about my 3-year-old child, my mother, my relatives, my wife, and so on. But these are absolutely not comparable things.
By the way, people in the live chat, they're saying they want to get the T-shirt. Yes, the T-shirt will be once we finish with the design. The T-shirt will be available. We'll make that available. But again, I'm still not happy with the designs. Right? I'm gonna. It's gonna take a couple of days before I get the final one ready. But yeah, we're gonna make it available. And oh, by the way, all our YouTube members and all our Atheist Republic patrons will get a discount code to the T-shirts as well. And this is this is also great. This is the silver lining to all of this, because I'm actually very passionate about I love mythology, and I didn't know how to use my activism to also mix it with mythology and celebrate mythology. But now I'm going to do this art project and do so many gods and goddesses. I'm going to go look into Norse mythology, like Egyptian mythology, see if we could make T-shirts about their gods, and Islamic mythology. Do there's so much potential. So every single month I'm gonna have a new design. Here's the thing. Once Atheist Republic has 200 patrons, one thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make comic strips out of hadith, right? We already made some comic strips out of hadith before, and they were very popular. So and the Bible as well. So we're gonna make the most ridiculous part of Islamic hadith, like the monkey stoning and a whole bunch of other stuff, and the most ridiculous parts of the Bible. And we're going to make comic strips out of those. So that's what we're going to do once we hit 200 patrons. Again, yeah. So thank you to everybody who's... But do you want to talk about this tweet? Let's look at the original.
I didn't mock their gods. I celebrate... Oh, yeah.
Let's look at the original first. Here, this is what Yasmin...
I want to take a break after this and quickly read the super chats. There are apparently a lot.
Okay, yeah.
Missed them. But, okay, let's look at Yasmin Mohammed. Yasmin Mohammed said, do you want to go up? I think this is the second tweet.
But the first one wasn't... I didn't have any issues with this.
Oh, the first one was in reaction to somebody who said F Hindus, F Hindus, F Hindus.
Yeah, which is I completely agree with that. I'm gonna call that out as well on my next live stream.
No, that was awful. We would say the same thing about
I'm gonna make sure I go on record and call that out as something that should be, because we shouldn't hide problems within our own community. So this completely I endorse.
Yeah. So she says there is a concerning upsurge of hate toward Hindus from atheist ex-Muslims on Twitter. I hope we can all remember that ideologies are very different from individual people, and be careful to always make a clear distinction between the two. Namaste. And then she went down and said, I understand this started with ex-Muslim atheists mocking Hindu gods. Like I said before, I disagree with that entirely. I denounce Muhammad and his example of disrespecting what others hold dear. Having said that, retaliating by mocking people's families, even their dead mothers, is beyond sick.
So, by the way, I don't know why Yasmin keeps talking about me and what's happening without ever mentioning me. She's been doing this for a while. She keeps referring
she may not have completely followed the issue. I don't know.
No, she knows completely. Come on. She knows exactly what's happening. But she's she's a little bit stays away with actually ever mentioning me. I don't know why. But then I responded to her like this. She's basically comparing me, my action on Hindu goddesses as an example of what Muhammad would do, which I think is ridiculous. So this is how I responded.
I didn't mock their gods, I celebrated them. Even so, what's wrong with mocking Hindu gods? Muhammad destroyed idols that were not his to destroy. He did not just mock other religions. He violently suppressed them. And should we respect Islam, which many hold dear? Yeah.
Right.
So,
I
agree.
Go ahead.
I vastly agree with Yasmin Mohammed, except for that one part which you have also clearly disagreed with, where I completely agree with you. Muhammad didn't just disrespect other people's beliefs, he openly declared war on them and wanted to exterminate them, and did eventually burn them down, burned idols down, got rid of idols, destroyed them, burned temples down, killed people, and got rid of beliefs that way. I don't think Armin Navabi would go and destroy idols and burn people's temples.
When I do this to my Quran, right? This is my Quran.
What have you done?
My Quran. This is my property, right? When Muhammad did this, he took other people's idols that he did not own, that he did not have, right? He did that to other people's property. This is I could do whatever I want with this. I'm trying to imagine other things. Oh, let's do it together. You want to do it together?
Here we go again.
Here we go again.
Here we go again. What the hell?
Yeah.
Here we go again. I don't want to spit. Please.
Let me wipe it. Let me.
Seriously, what the hell, man? I have to keep up with that now. I have to keep up with that. Seriously, do you really want to do this now?
Yes.
Okay. I hope that solves this problem. Yeah. Where were we?
I'm glad you don't have people that clean this up for you. Like I have people that we should. I have my cheap Quran here that I do this again. I couldn't find this for a while. I have a rainbow Quran that I never wanted to desecrate, but I actually, because I couldn't find my cheap Quran, I actually had to desecrate a few pages of it. I'm really sad that my rainbow Quran is not complete. This is my gay Quran.
That's your gay Quran. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
This is
I love
my
this
Quran.
one.
This is my Quran. It's all down here. I'm still trying to find a purpose for all those ripped up pages of the Quran. I don't want to throw it into trash because
This one I will never desecrate because it was too expensive. This is too expensive to desecrate.
Yeah. I want to find the most expensive Quran and want to rip it apart. That won't work. It's probably too expensive. Yeah. But oh, sorry for yelling.
Wait. We blasphemed Islam. We blasphemed Hinduism. I just want to make sure that we cover all our bases here. I don't have a Torah. This is the Bible.
Not on my channel. I love the Bible. I respect the Bible.
I'm sure the Bible will survive this. I'm sure the Bible will remain intact and everybody will have access to it and they can celebrate. I mean, come on, look at it. I did this to my cheap Bible.
No Christian will go out here and be like, what the hell? What the hell?
Do it. This is like we have desensitized. Christianity has been fully desensitized. Look, and here's the thing: I do that to the Bible while loving the stories in the Bible. Like this is how I enjoy the Bible. Okay, look at all of this. This is the stories from the Bible, the mythology, the people. I love the Bible and I love the stories in the Quran and I love the stories in Hinduism. They're all, and Judaism and the Russian, they're all amazing stories and I celebrate them. But again, I desecrate them while celebrating them at the same time. That's not a contradiction.
I was looking for books that I have here, but the only book in reach that I have, which I have finished and which I don't immediately need, is Yasmin Mohammed's book Unveiled.
Oh yeah, that's a good book.
but I will not rip this apart, Yasmin. Yeah, I will not do this.
Here, let me do something else, okay? This is my book. Okay? My book, Why There Is No God, written by Armin Navabi. Okay, let's see. It's so hateful to rip out pieces of paper. Oh, I'm being hateful to myself. Look at this. Oh no, I'm desecrating my own book. Look at that. So is this a hateful act? Do I hate myself?
Oh, by the way, I've ordered a Harry Potter book. It's currently in the mail. It will arrive tomorrow or within the next few days, and I'm going to make another video called "Why I Am Ripping Up Harry Potter."
Really? You're gonna do that?
Yes, I'm going to do that because Mufti Abu Layth, I don't know if you know Mufti Abu Layth, but Mufti Abu Layth said, responded to me ripping up the Quran and said, "See, he would never do this with, for example, a Harry Potter book." And I was like, "What the hell? What's the point there? What are you talking about?" And so I thought I would do it.
Never do it. Let's do it. Yeah,
I will do it. Okay, I will rip up a Harry Potter book. It's currently I have ordered it. I've paid $30. Right. $30 for a hardcover Harry Potter book. It will arrive the next few days, and I will have to rip it up.
$30 super chat.
So within the next few days, I will publish a video which will be called "Why I Am Ripping Up Harry Potter and the Sacred." What's the first one? Sacred Stone, whatever. Yeah, I will rip that up.
The Philosopher's Stone.
Whatever. Yeah.
Is that the Philosopher's Stone? It's been years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna check. Somebody's gonna tell "Oh, Armin, I thought you said you're a Harry Potter fan. How do you not remember?" It was the Philosopher's Stone. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. Someone said, "No, you demon, not Harry Potter." Yeah, no. But I'm sorry. Not even J.K. Rowling herself can stop me.
I mean, she's benefiting from you buying her book, and
yeah. She should thank me.
Yeah, like she gets paid for you doing
Yeah.
it.
At least Allah gets no money from me buying a Quran. I wish Allah could get some money from me for buying the Quran, but Allah can have no.
I do want to address the people that keep saying like, "Oh, what is this going to achieve?" Like, I mean, we have really demonstrated how effective this method is in desensitizing people and normalizing blasphemy and pissing on red lines and wiping them away, and normalizing, removing more barriers to freedom of expression. We have over and over and over again, we have demonstrated how effective this tactic has been. But some people are like, "Oh, Armin, this is not going to change the mind of Hindus, or this is not going to change the mind of Muslims." And like, yeah, I know, we do something else for that. For like, have you like, oh, why don't you like take the Quran and read it and actually criticize it intellectually? You think we haven't done that? Like, that's what we have done more. Like, this is like, we have been doing that forever. What are you talking about? It's not an either or. We could do both. We do one form of activism for intellectually this, saying why Islam is wrong and why we disagree with it and why to try to change people's opinion of it. This is not about that. This has a different goal, different goals, different tactics. This is about normalizing blasphemy. Do you understand that you could have two different activisms at the same time? You don't have, I mean, if you're incapable of thinking about two things at the same time, you do you focus on one thing, but some of us can do 10 forms of activism at the same time, and we do. So
yeah. People say, I dare you not to touch Lord of the Rings, so I will probably have to think about that too. I don't know. Yeah. So
maybe, right?
Yeah, I will come to the super chats. Yeah, somebody said you will have to be afraid of the militant Harry Potter fans. I know. I'm still having second thoughts about that. But I have to say one thing. I do not think that. I have always talked about this. We have had a 2-hour discussion, fight about this, or debate about this, about how you are an anti-theist. I'm not an anti-theist. You are against religion and superstition altogether. I'm not against religion. I don't believe that we need to get rid of religion. I don't think that we need to counter religion. I believe that Islam is terrible, and I despise Islam, whereas I don't dislike religion in general. I don't dislike Islam because it is a religion, but because of the way that Islam is. I have nothing against the belief in Allah, for example, and I don't dislike religion in general. I don't think we need to be active to get rid of religion, but I do appreciate you and many other people like you criticizing religion, and I also appreciate religious people criticizing you back and having these back and forth discussions with you. I do not appreciate people going after families and making these incredible insults and threats, but I appreciate that there is a dialogue going on between you criticizing religion and religious people criticizing you back, because that creates something that I think, which I appreciate about religion to begin with, which is that it is a seeking for truth and a finding of meaning. If you criticize a certain religion and those religious people criticize you back, then a conversation is being started that is necessary for humanity to get somewhere. A conversation about whether this is right or not starts, and that I appreciate that.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Simple question. Do you think it's better for people to believe more true things and less false things?
Do I think it is better for people to believe more true things and less false things? Yes, I do.
Yeah, okay.
I do. I would rather have people.
And you just endorse my anti-theist activism.
Of course. No, I would prefer everybody to look forward and to look toward the future, to see what is true and to reject what is false. But I know that
to endorse anti-theism.
No, again, I don't think we need to. I wouldn't be active in that. I don't think there's a reason that I believe.
These are two different things. I don't think you should be active in it. I don't think everybody should be anti-theist. But I think like you can agree with why what I'm doing is good without actually doing it yourself. Just because
I do agree with that it is good. But I agree that it is good, and there is a noble cause in it, as much as I agree that there is also something good and a noble cause in believing in something. I see them on the same level, to be very honest.
I don't see any noble. I appreciate the intention, and I actually, for example, I appreciate the intentions of Muslims and Christians and everybody else. that they want to know the truth. In fact, I appreciate them more than the people that even deny objective reality as a thing, right? So I appreciate the intentions, but I don't appreciate their conclusion, because I think Islam is false. I think Christianity is false. I think all form Hinduism is false. Judaism is false.
I do too.
So again, here the question is that I'm not saying that would you do anti-theism. The question is like, do you see why anti-theism is a good thing? Because again, I think
I do. Of course, I do. Right. The thing is, if I did believe that it was the right thing to do, then nothing would hold me back from doing it. But I just don't think it's necessary.
I think fighting against animal abuse is good. Am I doing it? No.
I think it's necessary. I
think it's necessary, but I'm not doing it because I can't do everything, right? So when I say anti-theism is necessary, that's not me saying that everybody should be doing not everybody should do my brand of activism. There's so much activism to go around, right? So I'm not saying like everybody should get on the anti-theism bandwagon.
Then there is a difference. So I do believe people who are animal rights activists, or who are human rights activists, for example, or animals rights activists. Let's just stay there. Good example. People who stand up for animals' rights, I believe they have a noble cause, and they are engaging in something that I think should be done. It must be done. It is necessary, and they are doing it, and that is great. It is necessary to do that. Do I believe that criticizing religion is necessary? I don't. So there is a difference.
Do you think fighting falsehood is necessary?
I don't believe that is necessarily about fighting falsehood. I don't think so. I don't. For example, I think it is necessary for thinkers to go out there and express their opinions on what is true and what is not true. No. I believe it is, for example, for an atheist. For example, for Nietzsche. I love Nietzsche. I think it was beautiful for Nietzsche. I appreciate it about him very much, that he went out there and, despite all criticism and all backlash, and despite the dominant opinion, to say, hey, your beliefs and your ideas and your meekness and this and that is all crap. It is all wrong. This is the right way to think. This is the truth. I think that was totally right to do of him. It was the good thing to do. I don't think it is necessarily necessary to focus on anti-theism and to say, hey, we must destroy religion. We must oppose religion. I don't think that is necessary.
Everybody that is fighting falsehood, they're not fighting all falsehood at the same time. Okay? So if somebody is fighting against homeopathy, for example, homeopathy is absolute batshit crazy, right? And it's falsehood. And if you go out and tell people why homeopathy is wrong, you're not dealing with all falsehood, but I think it's necessary for some people to deal with that falsehood. Like some people are focusing on that. That's necessary. Every form of falsehood. I'm against palm reading. Okay? Palm reading is nonsense. People believing in it. Palm reading. Yeah. Okay, I mean, again. So here's the thing.
I would make a commentary and say, "Hey, this is bullshit. Why are you doing this?" But I wouldn't think we should be active about this, or
I think we should be active about it. Let me tell you what. First of all, I agree with you that when it comes to false ideologies, when it comes to which one is the most destructive and dangerous one, Islam is the #1 winner. And it's like beyond, like by a huge margin above everything else, right? So I agree with you on that, and I also agree with it making sense for people to focus, like you, for example, to focus on Islam. I completely agree that makes fair sense for some people to do that, and I'm glad it's not me that is focusing only on Islam, but I'm glad that there are some people that are entirely focusing on Islam. It makes sense. I want that, but just so that it makes sense for you to ignore other religions that focus on Islam, then I am doing a little bit of a focus on as well.
Of course.
I am not focusing on all falsehoods. I'm focusing on dogmatic religious falsehood. So I am also basically, instead of going after every single falsehood. But here's the thing. Let me tell you why going after palm reading is very important. It's necessary to go after palm reading. It's not just a good thing to go after palm reading, but it's necessary to go after palm reading, right? Because when you see, I mean, there's not that many people that are waging wars because of palm reading. There's no suicide bombings that are happening because of palm reading, right?
Maybe there are. We can't know.
Parents are not beating their children because of palm reading. Families are not being broken apart because of palm reading. Not at least not as much as Islam. Okay, so you might be like, hey, Armin? Why are you attacking palm reading? Like, why can't you why can't this is not that harmful? It is harmful. Because if you are gullible enough, if your bullshit detectors are not is not sophisticated enough to notice that this is obviously crap. I mean, if you're enjoying it just because you're having fun and you don't believe in it, that's all good, right? That's all fun. But if you actually believe in it, you are a person that is going to, your map of reality is so skewed that you are not going to be able to navigate reality as effective as people that are not believing in nonsense. You're going to be taken advantage of. You're going to be making decisions in life that is not going to be in your best interest. Other people are going to use you for their interest because you just believe things without actually demanding evidence. Here's the thing. Here's an example. A person that is likely to believe in palm reading, they're also likely, if you don't use that belief in nonsense to tell them why they're wrong, for why that's nonsense, you have missed a golden opportunity to teach them critical thinking skills. And that person that doesn't have critical thinking skills is the same person that is probably going to believe that vaccines cause autism. And thinking that vaccines cause autism, now you do believe in something that is actually harmful. So what I say is, like, allowing harmless nonsense without evidence is also opening the door to harmful.
I don't think.
Let me finish. This is that.
Okay, sure.
It's also opening the door to harmful nonsense without evidence. You know, when it comes to providing a filter for people, if you didn't introduce the critical thinking skills filter, what comes up after, it's not that much in your control. What comes after, it could land up to something peaceful, it could land up to something harmful, but not harmful to you. It could just be harmful to themselves. If you don't go after people just because they're being harmful to themselves and wasting their time and resources and energy and time with family and not being with the people that they love, just because they're not harming you, if you're not helping them, just because if you're only going after the people that are coming after you, I think that's a bit selfish. I think I want to help people that even are harming themselves, not just people that are harming me. But go ahead.
You know what I think is much more harmful than palm reading and than most religious beliefs and religious families and religious attitudes. What? I think what is much more harmful than all of that is pop music, fashion, most of the sport industries, Hollywood, most movies and TV shows. I believe that most of the garbage, the reality TV that you watch while you work out at the gym, that is in front of you, where they talk about complete nonsense on TV, that has absolutely no contribution whatsoever to humanity. I think all those things are much more harmful to humanity than palm reading, for example. No, absolutely not. But
what if somebody goes and fights against that, but not Islam? Do you think would you think that's a necessary form of activism? All the problems that you said about fashion and media.
Yeah, but I believe that. For example, the pop culture that we have in America is much more harmful to the world than Christianity is, for example. I would appreciate people going out there and changing that. But
you're endorsing a form of activism that is,
of course,
addressing something that is not as bad as Islam.
Okay,
right?
But the thing is, I don't think it is necessary for people to actively go out there and focus on changing the pop culture, because I think there is no, like, it is a waste of time, because it will come back in one way or another. It doesn't debilitate society. It doesn't kill humanity. As in the same way, look, I think Christianity is completely false.
Why do you think as an
atheist? Okay, let me explain. As an atheist, I'm a convinced atheist. I'm not. When people ask me whether I'm agnostic or gnostic about my atheism, I would say I wouldn't even talk about whether I know or don't know. I would talk about whether the question is even relevant, because we're talking about God and whether I believe in God or don't believe in God. When people ask me that question, I feel like, why are we talking about this question? I don't think that God is a relevant question, which is why I don't even want to call myself an atheist. I'm beyond that. I don't think that God, the concept of God itself, has a proper meaning, which should bother me to further think about that. I am beyond that. I don't care about it. I think God has no meaning and I don't believe in it. Okay. But as such, it is completely normal for a Christian, for example, to think that I will perish and that I should be saved and I should go for heaven. But for me, it is normal to think that without Christianity, people would be better off. The Christians would be better off. They would go toward a better future. They would be more productive overall. Maybe I wouldn't say happier, but more productive, and maybe reach a better future in a shorter time. But I don't think that it is therefore necessary for us to counter Christianity, because I don't believe that we have I don't believe there is a limited time in this world and that we need to do something about Christianity as soon as possible and end it. I believe Christianity, things will eventually take their turn. Things will proceed in such a way that it is completely unnecessary for you or for me to speak against Christianity.
Okay,
you will we will not change much about Christianity. I don't think I will change. I don't think I will change much about Islam. We will not change much about the course of these religions. People will just by the information that science puts out, that people experience in this world, decide whether they want to believe in this religion or not. I don't think it is necessary for you or me, for the existence of humanity or the health and happiness of humanity, to counter Christianity or counter Hinduism or counter pop culture or counter the football industry or the soccer industry. I just don't think this is a necessary form of activism, which is why I don't engage in it. If I did think it was necessary, I would definitely engage in it. But I will finish here. If people ask me about Christianity and if people ask me if I believe or not, I will say, hey, no, I believe it is wrong. I believe it is false. I believe I shouldn't believe in it. I wouldn't advise my child to believe in it, and I don't believe in it because of this, and this, and I will be very honest with you about this, and I believe that atheism is the right way to go, but I won't go out there and try to fight and finish Christianity, because I don't think this is necessary for humanity, and I don't think it's necessary for me to put my energy into that.
Okay, those are two different things. You don't have to go fight that fight, but just because you're not doing it, that doesn't mean it's not necessary.
I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's valuable, but it's not necessary.
It's necessary. I mean, do you think Voltaire was not necessary?
I don't think he was necessary. I appreciate that he existed.
Wait, okay. I think he made the world a better place because of his activism. I think it's necessary.
He's one of the pioneers of free speech.
My definition. Okay, so maybe we have a different understanding of what necessary means, because somebody being able to contribute to so many people coming out of misery and so many people having better lives, I think their existence, in my definition of what is necessary, that would consider that necessary, right? And also, when you say our activism, first of all, it's not like all of our activism, the entire anti-Islam or anti-religion community, that definitely has an impact on religion and how sooner they're going to perish, right? It's not just a factor of time. It's a factor. Time is not just killing religion. It's time is killing religion because time comes with activism. Okay, it's anti-religious activism that is killing religion, not just time by itself. It's not just magic. So. No, I mean, history proves you wrong. Okay, religions survive is the new ideas introduced by people and new ways, new philosophers and people promoting those ideas that have changed people's ideas. I mean, even religion's birth is because of activism. It's because of people like Muhammad that bring religion, and they die because of other activism. You know, the ideas are not like these magical fairy dust that just come out of vacuums, and they don't just perish and go away just because of they have a shelf life that just goes away. People actively come and challenge them and tell people why they're wrong and introduce new ideas. That's how they die. It's not just a function of time. Yeah, go on.
I don't think that I am. I don't think that I am ending Islam, for example. I am currently.
Why do you do what you do then if it has no impact?
I am currently one of the biggest critics of Islam online, but I don't think that I am ending Islam, and I would feel sad knowing that in 200 years people would give me credit as one of the pioneers of the end of Islam. I would feel sad about it. I would think, you idiots. I would think about the people 200 years in the future, and I would think, you dumb idiots. Why do you give me credit? I am just a little part of an enlightenment that is happening in the world. I am only a doctor who is doing little things, who's adding his little criticism, who's adding his little opinions, his ideas on why Islam is wrong. I will keep talking about this when he comes back.
But here's the question.
Okay, wait. I will. Yeah, go ahead.
No, okay. So you're saying you're part of enlightenment. What the hell does that mean? If it doesn't mean that people are changing their opinions because of it,
I don't think
No,
people are
wait.
changing because of me. I think
Well,
I am
you
part
are.
of people changing their opinions, but I'm not
That's
really
what
doing
I'm
anything.
saying. Wait, what do you mean? You're part of it. You're contradicting yourself. Okay,
No.
we are all a small part of it. But you're saying I'm a part of people changing their opinions, but I don't think I'm doing anything. That is a contradiction, right? In one sentence.
I am. There is a stream of change going on. I am a wave in that stream.
So
I am a necessary
and the
wave in
stream
that
is a
stream.
component.
I am not. I
The
am
wave
no. I am not. I am not a machine, or I am not a component that causes this stream or steers the stream or makes the stream go a certain way. I am just a wave of the stream. People would have come to the same conclusions that I am coming to without me, without people like me, without people like me. I am only a small part of this.
Yes, you are a small part of it, but you are part of it. You are making a difference just because you're a small part of it. What I'm saying is not that your activism is doing all of it. I'm saying everyone's activism is doing. Do you think you change people's opinion at all?
I think I'm changing some people's opinions, but I think people's opinions would have changed after a while.
Yes,
without
slower.
me, would have come to the same thing without me at the same time. I don't think I'm doing anything.
I posted on Twitter that I think all religions will die with or without our help. So I said all religions will one day die with or without our help. Our role is to help them die sooner.
Okay.
Right? Because every second of more people believing in more falsehood is a damage to themselves, is damage to others, and is damage to the society at large. Okay? So yes, religions will die.
I think that's a noble cause.
Right. Okay, then we agree.
But I don't think it's necessary.
Well, I don't know. I consider people being less miserable and more happy not just noble but necessary. I think, like, here's the thing. Here's what I tell people. Like, because enlightenment values, like, every time you look at your children and you see that, the fact that they didn't die through childbirth, every time somebody's pulling your tooth and you are not feeling extreme amount of pain, every time you turn on the tap water and you have access to clean water, every time you get medicine, every time you say something against your government and people are not at your door arresting you, every time you vote, every time you notice that the government is, like, not 100% authoritarian, every time you notice that the church does not have full control over your lives, every time you notice any of these things, please understand that this is because other people before you, they sacrifice blood, tears, freedom, lives, and their own happiness for the enlightenment values that you are so ungrateful of, and you're enjoying. Not you. I'm talking to people that don't appreciate the ideas that other people pushed for and fought for and died for. This stuff did not come for free. All of these things that you're enjoying are geographically unique, are historically unique, and you guys could benefit from that without doing your activism. It's fine for people not to do their own activism, but at least be grateful for all the activists that came before you. And yes, they did something necessary. They did something necessary because of the lives that you are enjoying today. And the least that people could do today is to appreciate them and give credit where credit is due.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree that. So the distinction, we could talk about this forever. We should have a discussion about this at some other time, definitely. But the distinction is that I do definitely appreciate, the necessity of certain people endorsing certain ideas and changing the world through that. And I appreciate opposing a thing like Islam. I think that is necessary. I also appreciate you opposing religious belief altogether. I think you are a big part, a necessary part of human civilization, and you're doing something noble. That I agree on that. Let's not even go further. I agree on that. Okay. I agree. I appreciate that. I appreciate what you're doing.
Well, I appreciate you, and again, even if you don't think so about yourself, I think you're necessary too.
I appreciate what I'm doing. Otherwise I wouldn't be doing it.
I don't just appreciate it. I think you're necessary.
I also think I'm necessary. I think I'm necessary. I'm a necessary component of all of this. I just
But you're contradicting
whatever.
yourself. You think you're necessary, but you're not changing anything. So anyway,
No, I am changing something. I am changing something, but the change would happen without me, and the change would happen
later.
No, whatever.
Slower.
We'll come to that.
I agree with you. The change will happen without you, but slower.
Yeah. And I don't want people in 200 years to give me credit for destroying Islam. I think that would be stupid. They would be stuck on something that
they will give you credit while acknowledging that if you were around, you would probably call us stupid. They will give you credit while quoting you, saying that you called us stupid.
Okay, dear people in 200 years, if you're if you are giving me big credit and think, "Whoa, this guy was so great! Look what he did," then I think you're stupid. But I thank you for appreciating me. Okay, I would like to read super chats. Okay, people have been making super chats. I haven't looked into those. Thanks everybody, by the way, for appreciating everything, and I appreciate everything that everybody does. Thank you so much. Okay, Hindu Historian made a super chat and said, "Long live freedom of expression." Thank you so much, Hindu Historian. Thanks for all being here, and thank you so much.
Yeah, Hindu Historian is great, by the way.
Yeah,
he comes on our channel.
Yeah. I should have him live sometimes too.
Yeah, we did a live stream with him. Go on.
P became someone with a username P, just P, the letter P, became a member of the channel and became a prophet. If you become a member of the channel, that means you become a prophet. For just $4.99, you can become a prophet yourself, and it's so easy to do. You just pay $5. Muhammad had to establish a whole empire and have sexually subjugate many women and kill people and behead people, but you can just pay $5 and become a member of this channel if you want to do that.
Do you know what we call our members on Atheist Republic YouTube channel? We call the first tier is Satan's minion. The second tier we call them Devil Spawn, and the highest one we call them Hell's CEO.
That's nice. That's a good title. I just want to keep one level for mine.
Oh, one level? No, you should add more levels. You could do.
I don't know. I think I want to keep things simple.
Iblis or something.
Iblis. Someone called me today the mortal version of Shaitan. I loved that, man.
I love that. Did you see how I praised you on Twitter? I said like our prophet. Salah Iblis alayhi wa sallam.
I didn't see that part.
No, you didn't? Oh,
thank you.
I'll put that in Arabic, yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So Abdullah Samir made a super chat much earlier, that was 2 hours ago, and said, "I am watching. Now you can't talk trash about me. I will still talk trash about you, Abdullah Samir."
Who? Oh, Samir,
Abdullah Samir. I will always talk trash about you. Thank you, Abdullah.
Abdullah is great.
He's probably gone by now. He doesn't care.
He started all of this. He's responsible for all this.
He always does that thing. He's like he starts all the show, and then he's like, "Oh, it wasn't me. I was just."
Did you see Bollywood actors and actresses coming at me?
I did.
People with millions of followers like attacking me and like, "Oh, this is like misogyny. Oh, this is like a Muslim guy." And, like, so many people are posting like anti-Islam memes at me, like, "Oh, you're making fun of Cali? Oh, look at this anti-Islam. Oh, look at this is your Aisha." I was like, "Oh my God, no, please don't attack Islam."
It's kind of funny that you insulting or praising Kali led to Hindus attacking Islam. So it's a win-win situation for you, right?
Yeah.
Funny. P made a super chat and said, what kind of currency is that? SGD? What kind of currency is SGD? Singapore dollars. Whoa. 20 Singapore dollars, and said, "Greetings, AP. What are some of your upcoming plans? Thanks." I'll do this very quickly. I want to go through the super chats very quickly because I haven't read any of them, and there are many. Some of my upcoming plans are I want to work on. I took a little break from responding to Mohammed Hijab. I want to get back to that. I just felt sick of all the garbage coming in right now, but I'll get back to that. I'll make at the end of Mohammed Hijab. I'm going to respond to certain other Muslim apologists. I'm going to talk about the scientific mistakes of the Quran soon, come back to Islamic eschatology, and I want to work on certain other things that I don't want to talk about right now because I want them to be clearer first.
Can you make short videos going after these Dawa people? Because then I will review them on Atheist Republic. I love reviewing your videos on Atheist Republic. Make review videos of them. So if you ever have a short take on them,
I will. I'm planning on making. I have 5 Muslim apologists in my mind right now that I want to make long responses to, encompassing everything that they have said, and I've also given each of them a title. Every single one of them is known for a quality that is not necessarily desirable. But yeah, I will respond to them in such a way.
So watch them here on Apostate Prophet's channel, and then come over to Atheist Republic, and we'll watch them together, and we'll talk about it together in the live stream. Like that.
I will publish my videos, and once I've published them, I will link I will link to your review of those.
Oh, really? Sweet.
Awesome. Okay, I will do that.
Nice.
All right, Devin Phoenix the Rothschild made a super chat and said, "Hi AP." Hi Devin, I appreciate it. Thank you. Ya SL said in a super chat, "Are you an ex-Muslim or ex-Hindu? The answer lies in your response to this question."
This sounds like a trap. It's a trap. Don't answer.
Is it a trap?
It's a trap. I don't know.
But does the answer "it is a trap" also imply something about this? I'm not sure. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Maybe you not answering it is the trap.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I shouldn't have read it. Maybe that was the actual thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm an ex-Muslim. Armin Navabi is also
out there by just asking that question and just making people wonder.
Yeah. I will think about this forever. I don't think I will be able to sleep tonight.
No.
Devin Phoenix the Rothschild made another super chat and said, "You guys can censor reality, aka AP. I am reality." Thank you. Arjun made a super chat and said, "Hinduism is the worst excesses of a religion, as it is like any Abrahamic religion minus the Occam's razor of monotheism." I don't know if monotheism is necessarily a thing. Wait. The worst excess of religion, as it's like any Abrahamic religion minus the Occam's razor of monotheism. Okay, yeah. I don't know if I can agree with that. I think I have a very different way of looking at whether a religion is good or not. Sometimes I express that I find some religions good in a way, and I don't like other religions in a different way. And
do not ever say you respect religion. Just say you enjoy religion. Okay. Do not say respect. Do not give them respect. Just give them I like this about this one. I like that about that one. But again, ideas. People say respect people. Do not say you respect the ideas.
Well, I appreciate certain religions. I appreciate certain religions. I even sympathize and like certain religions. And I think some religions are more efficient, better for a society to function, whereas other religions are not remotely as good for a society to function. So I don't base my evaluation of religions based on how peaceful and aggressive they are, but rather on whether they are good for society or not.
In the same, some religions are better than Islam in the same way that a shit sandwich is better than a double shit sandwich. So.
Okay. Okay. I got your point. Fair point. James SC made a super chat and said, "Hinduism is far lower risk to spreading to other parts of the world and reducing secular humanist values there compared to Islam. So it's sensible to refute and satirize Islam as a higher priority." In that regard, I definitely agree. Hinduism doesn't have the danger of reaching into other cultures and trying to eradicate their values and trying to impose itself on society and oppress them, whereas Islam is fundamentally supposed to conquer and oppress and eradicate values. I completely agree there.
But again, your activism doesn't necessarily have to be addressing the world's greatest problem for it to be a worthwhile activism.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Of course, I agree with that too. Yeah, definitely. I don't think if you want to be a doctor, you shouldn't just aim for that certain field that you think is the biggest problem, because the world needs doctors.
Imagine going to a skin doctor and like, "What are you doing? Do you know people are dying from heart attack? Like, is it cancer? What? Like, people are suffering from cancer and heart disease, and you're a skin doctor? Like, what the hell's wrong with you?
You idiot!
You're idiot!
Idiot! Go back, study something else." Yashirakov made a super chat and said, "We love your work. May Darwin and his prophets bless you." Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Darwin was a weirdo, but I appreciate weirdos.
You're weirdos.
Yeah, I'm a giant weirdo. I'm a
proud weirdo.
You're not as weird as I am. I think
you have no idea.
I don't know. You cannot take my crown here.
I'll try.
Arudra Venkat made a super chat and said, Kali equals pitch black. Krishna equals black. Predominant racism in India is to paint everything blue when they don't like black. Try black color and keep desensitizing. Does that really have to do with skin color? Does it really have to do with that? Because I thought I thought that the colors in Hindu deities, correct me if there is an expert on Hinduism in the live chat, but I thought that the color has a different, deeper meaning concerning spirituality and concerning the spirit or the state of those certain figures and gods. That's what I thought. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Okay.
The thing is that if we do it black, people are not going to recognize what are we referring to, right? So people like it's not going to be. We need to make it the popular, the most popular mainstream depictions of them. It should be what we use, right? But I don't know if this is. I don't also want to know. I don't know if they're painting them blue instead of black because of racism. So this is something that a lot of people have been telling me recently, but I have no idea how true that is.
Yeah, might be. So, by the way, a guy called Dalla said, "I respect you, Apostate Prophet, but you brought this rascal here. This degrades my respect for you." First of all, I want to say one thing, which is I have also brought Daniel Hikikachu here, and Daniel Hikikachu told me in my face that I should be killed in his system and that people should be enslaved and all that stuff. So I don't know how you evaluate me based on who I bring here. But of course, this is not to compare Daniel Hikikachu to Armin Navabi, because I believe people like those Islamists who believe in enslaving and eradicating other people for their beliefs are animals, are literally animals. Whereas I love Armin Navabi here. Armin Navabi is my friend. I love him.
I love you too.
I don't believe that he's a rascal. I think it's he's a very valuable individual to society. So so you can piss off right away if you want to say, hey, I hate you now because you brought Armin Navabi here.
No, it's okay. No, you can, it's fine.
VJ made a super chat and said, Hinduism is Islam multiplied. Brahmins are Indian prophet. Hinduism is Islam multiplied. Brahmins are Indian prophets like Muhammad, and they are in millions. Hindu sacred texts are hundreds of Qurans. You will see millions of Muhammad hijabs here. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I saw thousands of Muhammad hijabs coming after my family. So that was like, I when it started, I kept on seeing people coming out and attacking my family. And I was tagging Muhammad hijab at first. I was like, hey, Muhammad hijab, here's a Hindu version of you. Here's another Hindu version of you. But then it got to like hundreds and hundreds. Of like, oh my God, there's like hundreds of Hindu versions of Muhammad hijab. Like I didn't, and all of a sudden they got way more disgusting than what Muhammad hijab was doing. I was like, again, by the way, guys, if I'm saying like online, it seems like the problem seems to be like the Hindutva people online seem to be a lot more extreme than Muslims, right? But offline, the world champion of consequences is still Islam. Okay?
No one can compete with Islam.
Nobody can come like by a huge margin. So offline consequences to blasphemy, Islam is still the number one champion by a wide margin. But it seems like when it comes to snowflakery and online bullying, I think like that market has been, the Hindus managed to win that one over.
Well, Hindus may more emotionally react to you.
They're not used to it. I think I think Muslims have been going through like a decade worth of anti-Islam activism, and I think Muslims are just like now like, okay, I guess this is a thing. Like, screw these people. Like, may they burn in hell. But I guess not something they've seen it. I think Hindus haven't seen it yet. I think Hindus haven't noticed. Like, Hindus like, what what is this? Like, people are going after a religion? Like, they just like, this is a new thing to them. That's why they're reacting like this. But go ahead.
You know how Muslims think. You have probably experienced that too when you were a Muslim, or you know that from Muslim circles, Muslim sentiments. Like, I grew up as a Muslim thinking that the entire world hates us. I learned that because as a Muslim, you basically learn that the entire world wants to trick you and oppress you, and they all know Allah is the truth, and they want to deny it and oppose you and all that stuff. And that makes the Islamic community, the Muslim community, very aggressive against and very hostile against other people and other cultures. And due to the nature of Islam, because of the way Islam is, people outside in the world who learn a little bit about Islam become very offensive toward Islam and are much more likely to desecrate Islamic values and to draw Muhammad cartoons to provoke Islam, because Islam is so hostile against other people, to disrespect the Quran and so on. So because people are so ridicule Islam so openly because of the way Islam is, Muslims have been dealing with this publicly for quite a while now. Hinduism doesn't quite have the same state, because Hinduism doesn't overreach into other cultures, and therefore,
I mean, there are some parts of it that is trying to take over countries in that region.
Yeah, sure.
Like, so, but Islam is like worldwide. Like, they want to take over the world.
Therefore, people haven't dealt so offensively with Hinduism, which is why Hinduism are not that much used to.
And it's possible, again, I don't want to blame everything on Islam, because I said there are something uniquely Hindu that I disagree with, right? But this one I want to maybe blame on Islam, because again, karma, caste system, reincarnation, those are really damaging beliefs that is uniquely Hindu. But I think this whole like outrage is something that they've learned from Muslim, as like who has the most honor. It's like, seems like, again, I might be wrong about this, but a lot of people are suggesting that this might be because of the influence of Islam, about like they're kind of like, you know, how Muslims are like, look, people are intimidated in coming after Islam because there's consequences, because we protect Islam. People are scared of coming after Islam because we defend our honor. Kind of like the women that they want to own, and they want to signal to people that they're the macho alpha male people that protect the woman. That's the signal. I think they're doing that with their religion as well. Like, so they're like Hindus, look at us, look at how we're defending Islam. You guys are pathetic. People are coming after your religion, and you're not even outraged. And I think this is like more of a third world mentality of like honor and defending your honor, and you're competing with Muslims defending their honor and trying to signal to them that no, you're also strong, you also get outraged, and show and advertise your outrage when someone comes after your religion. So it might be a competition with Muslim that is having this impact on them, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, could be. I appreciate your input. Let's move on. By the way, to the person who said, to Vijay, who said Hinduism is Islam multiplied, Brahmins are Indian prophets and they're in millions. Hindu sacred texts are hundreds of Qurans. The thing is, the issue is, when I look at Abrahamic religion, when I look at biblical history, and I look at the prophets of Abrahamic religion, I view them basically as philosophers. It's like, before philosophy existed, people had prophets. People had these characters who are part of religious environments, because before people made laws, and before people put forward ideas in a secular way, people put them forward in religious ways. Like in Abrahamic religion, the prophets play the roles of philosophers. Just in a religious context, they are considered more holy, more, let's say, untouchable because of their relationship to God, because they're considered as inspired by God. So in the same sense, the figures in Hinduism are kind of, although they are on a higher level because they are divine, they are kind of comparable to the prophets in Abrahamic religion. But of course, their nature is different, because those gods are venerated or worshipped, if you want to call it so. By
the way, did you know that I got like a Muhammad hijab nickname? It's kind of like Trump getting a nickname like this. He you know how he gave you Apis?
Yeah.
My nickname is Vermin.
Oh yeah, this is something that narcissists like to do.
Yeah.
Narcissists like Muhammad Hijab like to give everybody bad, terrible nicknames, and make them look worse, dehumanize them before going after them. So Muhammad Hijab is very popular for doing that stuff, and because he's so stupid, and because he's logically so broken and so sexually perverted, he has to attack us in that way because his ideas don't hold weight and he's not very mentally stable.
Maybe we should put the next live stream, if we ever do, like when we do another live stream, could put it like Apis and Vermin, and as the title or something like that.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. I call him Broomhead. I actually got this for him. Look, I got this for him. I got this for him. He started making fun of. He said my head looked like a potato. I still don't understand how he got to that conclusion. But then I was like, "What are you talking about, man? Your head looks like a broom. You look like a walking broom. This is how you look. This is what you look like. I'm your teacher, boy. I'm your teacher. You're finished, boy. You're finished, boy."
What is it about the unkept beard? Like, is that sunnah? I thought Muhammad took care of his beard and he colored it red. Why do they not, like, it goes into every direction? Is that sunnah?
Do you really want to go into
No,
Islamic traditionalism? It's like it's the deepest pit that we could now go into. Yeah. Not a verse. Yashiro Kov made a super chat and said, "Good job, Prophet. Thumbs up. Thank you. I appreciate that." Not a verse made a super chat and said, our very own Hindu historian, although he isn't pleased with Armin lately, still supports Armin's right to offend him. Just one of the many differences between Muslims and Hindus. Seriously, man. Seriously. If there are people like Hindu historian and other Hindu people, Hindu apologists or scholars or people with Hindu symbols who are out there and who sit together with you and who are like, "Hey, no, I completely support your right to say this, and I will sit down with you and talk to you." You would never encounter Muslim apologists, known Muslim apologists, accepted Muslim apologists, who, after you rip up their Quran and burn their Quran and urinate on it and make cartoons of Muhammad, sit down and be like, "Oh no, I think you're totally." You should be.
Way less of them, but there are always exceptions. There are always exceptions, but yes, I agree that there's way less of them, and I have gone out of my way to highlight the Hindus because I want to make sure that people don't people that watch my live streams. They could tell this to you, right? Every time I highlight all this crap that I'm getting, like from the Hindutva mob, I also try to mention every time that, dude, there's a whole bunch of Hindus out there that are defending me, that are trying to support me, that don't even like what I'm posting, but they're going out there and trying to call out the bullshit that is coming at me. I highlight them because I do not want to generalize. And I also on Twitter, I retweet them, I highlight them, even though they're like in like compared to the Hindutva mob that is coming at me, they're like 5%. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's generous. But I'm trying to do it like it's the way I'm highlighting it, sometimes it makes it look like they're 50-50. Okay. But they're like 5, but I do highlight them because I don't want to people to come up with this overgeneralization. And I also do by the way, also when it comes to our patronage that grew because of all this crap, right? It got like a huge boost on Patreon, Atheist Republic, and it's mostly from India.
So what you're saying is that all Hindus are bad. That's what you're trying to say here. Okay.
But to be fair to Muslims, they do have some Muslims as well that say, like, Armin, I hate everything you say, but go ahead and say it. I support your right to say it. I mean,
did you see what Armin just did? Did you see Armin just raised his fist because I told him he thinks all Hindus are bad. He just raised his fist. He's accusing all of you of being the uncivilized, the rude ones, the ones who resort to disrespect and violence and all that stuff. And then he's here raising his fist against me.
I had some people say, like, Armin, why don't you deal with the problems in your own country, like Iran? That's what they meant.
Yeah.
Instead of, isn't Iran in a worse situation than India? And yeah, and I have been doing that, you morons. That's what's up. Okay, that's.
I thought you were about to cuss. That's one. Go on.
Hey, the dear Harris Sultan. What's his? Does he have a nickname already?
I don't know. He should have had a nickname too by now.
Doesn't he have a nickname?
He got away without a nickname by Mohammed Hijab. That's big.
Did Harris Sultan see that? Because Harris Sultan really like. No, never mind. Okay, never mind.
Harris Sultan, welcome and thanks for joining us. And thanks for the super chat. He said, "Love you guys. Thank you. We love you too."
Yes, we love you too.
We love you too. I love everybody. Yeah, okay, let's go on with the super chats. Where was I? Notaverse, I read that. Thank you, Notaverse. And thanks for moderating the live chat, by the way. I hope you're not banning everybody here. Just let people say what they want to say. Abdullah Samir made a super chat and said, is it unnecessary to make fun of Muhammad? I don't think it's unnecessary at all to make fun of Muhammad. I think it's completely necessary. I think it's an obligation. Not an obligation. I think it's necessary to make fun of Muhammad because Muhammad has a direct impact on everybody's lives in the worst ways that any religion ever had. Muhammad is the most offensive, the most aggressive, the most problematic religious figure in human history. Of course, it is necessary to make fun of him.
Have we not demonstrated that Hinduism has an impact on people's freedom of expression?
No, it's not. It's not the same. It's not the same thing.
No, don't strawman me. I didn't say it's the same. It's far less problematic.
Okay, no, but that's not what I meant.
Influence on people's lives.
No, that's not what I meant by influence. What I meant by influence is not that holding Muhammad dear has an influence on people. What I mean is that Muhammad himself directly has an impact on people by.
It seems like that's all fantasy as well, given the recent data that's coming as well.
I know, but the thing is, it's not the veneration of Muhammad which is causing the problem. It is the character of Muhammad himself that is causing the problem. The actions and the words of Muhammad himself that are causing the problem.
The problem is there because of the you seem to be so picky about the way the ideas are influencing people's lives. I care about the results and the fact that it's actually changing people's lives for the worse rather than the exact methods in which that's happening.
I get your point, but you look, here's an example. We live in a society. The society believes in a blue god named, or let's not say blue, let's say a pink.
Like my Cali.
No, the society believes in a pink god named Mamu Mamu. Okay, and you're supposed to respect Mamu Mamu because everybody loves Mamu Mamu, and you're not supposed to say, "Hey, Mamu Mamu is I would like to have sex with Mamu Mamu." You're not supposed to say that. And if you go out and say, "Hey, I would like to have sex with Mamu Mamu," then people will be like, "Hey, you cannot say that about Mamu Mamu. How dare you insult Mamu Mamu? How dare you disrespect Mamu Mamu?" That's what people will say. And I would think, okay, now in that position, if you are not allowed to disrespect Mamu Mamu, and if that will bring problems upon you because you have disrespected Mamu Mamu, then I think, yes, that is a problem. And maybe people should go out and should say, hey, no, we should normalize disrespecting Mamu Mamu because everybody should be able to disrespect Mamu Mamu without getting in trouble. I completely agree. But then you go into a different society, and this society has this religious figure, this man called Boo 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 Boo. And this religious man called Boo 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 is a religious figure who has directly waged war against the world, who has enslaved people, who has said, kill those who reject me, who has said, enslave everybody that you come across. And because of that, I will die without even offending him if I don't believe in his religion anymore. Then I would be like, okay.
I agree that Boo 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 is a bigger problem than Mamu Mamu. Very much agree. I very much agree with you, okay? But I also agree in a society where Mamu Mamu, even though she's not causing as much as problems as Babu Babu, it's an unhealthy society. Like it shows a wider problem than Mamu Mamu itself. The fact that you could actually do that in a society to go after people just for disrespecting Mamu Mamu. The fact that that's a thing, that means they have problems in society that deserves addressing. Yes, I agree that Babu Babu results in way more problems.
Don't respect Babu Babu.
Results in way more problems than Mamu Mamu. But Mamu Mamu we should go after Mamu Mamu. But we need to turn these things into. I'm gonna make memes out of these. Like, did you just came up with that? Because we need to turn this into.
Yes. By the way, F Boo 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 Boo.
F Boo 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 and F Mamu and F Mamu Mamu. Why can't you do both? Why can't you be like screw Boo 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 Boo?
No,
yes, he's Boo 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 is problematic.
F Mamu Mamu and F Boo 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 Boo. I don't care. F Mamu Mamu and F Boo 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 Boo. Yeah.
It's more. Here's the thing: it's more necessary to go after Boo Boo Boo.
Yeah.
It's also necessary, not as necessary, but still necessary to go after Mamu Mamu.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Boo 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 is a scumbag. Yeah. Okay.
Is Mamu Mamu hot? Like, can we turn this into? Let's do
Mamu
this.
Mamu. Mama Mama is actually a horse. Let's say that. Okay.
Oh. But I don't want to have sex with a horse.
Okay. All right. So okay, let's say that Mama Mama. We should be able to disrespect Mama Mama, but Boo 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 is a scumbag. Okay, let's go on. Abdullah Samir, I read that. Shubham Pandey said, "Like you point, apostate." I think that's supposed to mean "I like you point, apostate." Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Mona Lisa made a super chat and said, "The right you have to believe in a supernatural being is the same right that allows me to mock it." The right to believe in a supernatural being is the same right that allows me to mock it. Exactly, yeah. If you believe in a supernatural being, and if you think, hey, this is my belief, then someone else is allowed to say, hey, F that belief. This is, this is a public concern.
Then respect my belief that I want to disrespect your beliefs. That's we're respecting everyone's beliefs, hey? My belief, my very deeply held belief is that I want to disrespect your belief. Go ahead, now respect
that's your belief. That's your religion.
So now you have to, based on your own standards, you have to respect that.
Yeah, the church of disrespect.
Religion, and doesn't. It doesn't have. It's not dogmatic, and it doesn't have rituals, and it doesn't have any superstitious beliefs. So
I think
it's not a religion.
I think it should be a religion. I would make a religion. I would make a church of disrespecting religion.
Yeah.
Nilufar Rahman made a super chat and said, "Support for our prophet. Thank you for sitting down with our Voltaire." Thank you, Nilufar. Thank you so much.
Wait, can we blaspheme against the Apostate Prophet? How do we blaspheme against the Apostate Prophet?
You're not allowed to do that. You can say F the Apostate Prophet. Do you want to say it? Go on Twitter and say.
Isn't calling you a prophet like blasphemy?
Huh? It is. It is. But
Muhammad Hijab committed blasphemy by calling you a puss.
Yeah, F Muhammad Hijab.
Hey, every time I say Muhammad Hijab, for some reason I'm about to say Muhammad Sayyid, and I have to stop myself and say Muhammad Hijab. So if I ever make a mistake and say Muhammad Sayyid, please correct me. Or like, Armin, what are you talking about? Muhammad Hijab, okay?
Who is Muhammad? Oh, the ex-Muslims of North America guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Greetings to Muhammad Sayyid, by the way. Yeah. Okay. So you're allowed to blaspheme against apostate prophets. He's fine with that. Aman Ahlawat made a super chat. I don't know.
It's not blasphemy if you're okay with it, but go on.
It is blasphemy, but I'm okay with blasphemy against me. If you say F apostate prophet, I'll just say, yeah, whatever, F you back, boy. But you're allowed to say that. I won't punish you for that. Aman Ahlawat made a super chat and didn't say anything. I appreciate it. Kate Sebastian made a super chat and didn't say anything. I appreciate it. Deepak Kumar made a super chat and said, "Why not mocking your mother is not fine and others' mother is fine? There are many who would hate their mother." We explained that much earlier. It's the relationship between Armin and his mother versus the relationship between someone and his believed assumed mother is a completely different relationship. So therefore.
How about this? Let's do both. You go after my mother, and I'll go after your imaginary mother. And when you go after my mother, I'll highlight what you guys are doing to the world. And when I go after your imaginary mother, you highlight what I'm doing to the world, and we let the world judge. I'm not going to go ahead. You have my approval. Go and make fun of my mother as much as you want. I'll just show the world what you stand for. I'm not stopping you. I'm not even telling you to stop, okay? We'll just do that, and we let the whole world judge what you stand for and what I stand for.
I don't know why people are spamming Sadhguru in the chat. What happened? I don't know what's happening. Sadhguru. I tried to listen to Sadhguru once, like a year ago or so, when I had an extraordinary experience, and I felt like listening to Hindu stuff. And I was like, "Wow, this sounds nice." But then I was like, "It's not that impressive, to be honest." So yeah. Chicken Jar made a super chat and said, "Armin is sponsored by the toilet paper industry. They're paying him to get people to wipe their butts." Okay.
Wait, is that because you wipe extra when you eat the Quran?
I don't know.
Did you see my tweet? Telling people that after I ate the Quran, I was like on my phone in the washroom, and I was like, "Hey, I'm passing out the Quran right now," and I tweeted that. Yesterday I ate Quran. Today I'm shedding Quran. I said I'm literally shedding Quran as we speak right now, and I tweeted that while shedding out Quran.
Man. Stop making super chats, people. VJ said in a super chat, what Armin did should be part of free speech, and all religions should be treated the same. The best morals will survive. Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I agree.
Everybody must be able to say whatever they want in the world, and everybody in society will decide what they think.
You can't tell people. There are some limitations.
Of
For
course.
example, you can't say like, "Hey, this cures cancer," and if it doesn't, that's a scam. You cannot say like, "Hey, go kill that person. I'll pay you $5,000 to kill that person." Here's like that's obviously illegal. Like,
yeah, of course. But what do you think? Is it okay to say, I think this religious group should be, in an ideal world, this religious group should be deported and or killed? Do you think that's an okay thing to say?
Well, it's not okay, but it should be legal. Again,
I mean,
people
is it legal?
It should be, unfortunately, like we have to, again, it has to be legal. There is some that has to be legal. The consequences of making speech, again, guys, it's easy to defend free speech when the speech is things that are not like when it's something not violent and disgusting. Okay, you wouldn't even need free speech laws if we were only protecting good speech. We need free speech laws because we need to defend. Again, free speech is only free speech if it protects the most vile and disgusting and form of speech. Human rights are only human rights only if they protect the worst kind of humans, right? So you only know that you're fighting for on the side of enlightenment values and human rights when you're being tested. When you end up protecting the speech that you don't like, you know that you are really on the side of free speech. When you end up protecting the human rights of humans that you do not like, that's when you know that you're on the side of human rights. You're not on the side of human rights only when you defend the humans that you like and when the speech that you like, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The consequences of making illegal speech that is harmful, the harm from giving authority to a government to censor that, the consequences of those ideas going underground and not for us not to know that it's a problem that we need to fight against. There are consequences of giving the victim card to the people and the legitimacy that you get out of making those kind of thoughts illegal. The consequences are way, way higher than that speech itself. So this is what I think. If it's only, I think it should be illegal when it comes to threats of violence and harm. It should only be illegal if it's a direct threat of harm to a specific individual, or maybe even a very specific group of people. Again, I actually don't know. It needs to be legal for to know exactly where the line should be. I think we need some legal experts here, right?
I think with the original idea of liberalism, with the original idea of free speech, I think as Mill, for example, talked about it. It is if your speech includes advocating for harm against the well-being and the health and existence of other people, then it should not be covered by free speech. Like that's where free speech should end. I think that is that was the liberal idea of free speech. But you go further than that and say no, it should be allowed to say, I think in an ideal world those people should be executed. To be honest, when I think about it, I think every kind of speech, all kinds of speech, should be allowed, even speech that says such people should be executed. But on the other hand, I feel like maybe that goes a little bit too far. I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted there.
People are confused when we say like it should be allowed. They think that's an endorsement of it.
No,
I think
there's a difference between saying something should be allowed and supporting that specific thing. Definitely. Yeah. Like for example, I think Islam should be allowed to be practiced, but I think Islam is a terribly disgusting thing. So
right.
Yeah.
And again, if you had that standard of not banning anything, any ideas that says that a certain group of people should be killed, you basically advocated for banning Islam.
Yeah.
But you do not think Islam should be banned.
Yeah. I mean, you can practice Islam while abstaining from certain things. I mean, I would think that Islam should be allowed to be practiced, but I wouldn't allow people to within a society go and collect money or strike people based on their religious beliefs. I think that would still be against my society.
That's a completely different thing. That's actions. That's criminal behavior.
Sure.
Criminal behavior, right? We're talking
Sure.
about ideas and whether they should be able to freely express that. I think that should be allowed.
Yeah, sure. Could be. We can talk about that forever. I want to go. I think. Do you? Are you trying to leave us? Do you want to go on, or do you think we should?
You want to do like another how many minutes?
I will quickly go through the super chats, maybe, and
I won't comment.
People keep sending. People keep making super chats, and
I'll just approve or disapprove based on without commenting. So
okay,
if you go.
Just say Y or N. Wait. Where are we? VJ, what Armin did should be part of free speech and all religions. Okay, I read that. Kate Sebastian said in a super chat, most of these people lynch others just for eating beef in most parts of India. I think the whole beef conversation is a whole different conversation that I would partially agree with Hindus on, but also partially disagree with them on.
Most of them would not lynch anybody. Most of them should.
Yeah. But I feel like you cannot judge banning the consumption of beef on the same level that you judge the banning of speech against deities, because beef carries a whole different notion, a whole different idea within Hinduism, and that's a discussion that we can have forever.
Because there's so many super chats. Let's go through.
Okay. Carlos de Souza made a super chat and didn't say anything. I appreciate that. Hindu historian said in a super chat, sorry I'm late. Did I miss anything? You did not. Haram Bain became a member. Thank you. Welcome to the club, Haram Bain. Haram Bain also made a super chat and said, peace AP. Thank you so much. Singh Harjinder made a super chat and said, ex-Muslims desecrate the Quran because they know what it means after having suffered the totalitarian ideology. Their mockery of Hinduism or other dharma would matter once they learn something about it.
All I need to know is your reaction to me desecrating your sacred. That's all I need to know. All I need to know is what I've seen. But go on.
Yeah, I would
just because I'm interested, but it's not necessary. Go on.
Okay, I would say I would do something to the Quran because it is relevant to the Quran. I wouldn't do the same thing to Hinduism, but I do not think at all that knowing more about Hinduism is a requirement to disrespecting Hinduism at all. I don't think there is such a requirement for anything in the world at all. Aaron Larson made a super chat and said, Christian response to destroying the Bible, what is the point? Yeah, Christians just ignore it usually. So, but it's also, the Bible doesn't carry the same connotation in Christianity as
got a lot of reaction, but not anymore.
Yeah. Razel said, Armin is right there. The main predictor of someone believing in any given conspiracy falsehood is belief in another, even if they're completely unrelated. Critical thinking is important. Long discussion, but I appreciate it. Singh Harjinder said, Hinduism has several streams of thought and philosophies. It created open societies that have suffered at the hands of Abrahamic ideologies. Kindly set up, what the hell, man? There are like 20 more super chats here.
Go fast. Let's go.
Atheist Republic loves our...
People are donating to you and you're complaining.
No, thank you so much, everybody. I'm just kidding. It's just a lot to read here. Susanna made a super chat and said, Atheist Republic loves our ex-Muslim prophet. Thank you so much, Susanna. You should join us too sometime here. 12 BKL My Shoe said, take my money, Murtad. Science Hadith. Thank you. House of Firmino said, hey, Mufti Apus. I'm calling myself Mufti Apus now because... Yeah, that's good. Have you seen videos by channels Saitan and Socrates' son, both great debunkers of Islam? Saitan in particular is hilarious. I'm aware of both of them, and I appreciate both of them very much. 12 PKL My Shoe said, oops, autocorrect, Science Hafiz. Channel The Guyi Show said, I find the caricaturing of religious deities to be distasteful, and I do find it to be intellectually bankrupt in an effort. But I wholeheartedly support a person's right to do so. Freedom of expression only exists when there is freedom to offend.
Well, I mean, you made a, isn't doing that demonstrating what you just said? So it's not intellectually bankrupt because it's what you're saying, it's demonstrating.
Well, you can say that I find something stupid, but I think it should be okay. So that's what he basically says.
It's an argument that is like he's making an intellectual point that could also be demonstrated through action of us doing it. So it's not intellectually bankrupt as he claims to be, because what he's trying to say, we have shown.
I see. I get the point. I get the point. But I think it's still not comparable, because he says, I believe this is stupid, but I believe you should be able to do it. Now you are saying I'm showing that we should be able to do it by doing that certain thing. Exactly. Yeah. So, okay. Nadaverse made a super chat and said, no, Sahil on 9 made a super chat and said, hi, AP and Armin, how are you doing, man, after that Sexy Kelly episode? We've talked about it forever. Thank you. Nadaverse said, Apostate Prophet, you, my friend, are an overachieving apostate and the most necessary Turk of all time. You Juge Majude. Thank you so much, Nadaverse. I appreciate it. The Cult Breaker said, that knows, bro. No wonder people call you a closet Jew. Attack Judaism before our Muslim brothers show you some love. AR, can I get a signed copy?
AR, Republic? You mean of what? Of why there's no God?
Maybe. Send Armina an email on that. The Cult Breaker. Z Junkbox said, is religion still necessary in today's modern society? If yes, why? If not, what will replace it? I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it is necessary, but I think there are good reasons for it to exist, and parts of it that I appreciate.
Done by better through non-religious methods.
Well, there are certain things in psychology, for example. It is a known thing that religious people are, on average, religious people tend to be more happy on average. But that
countries where the norm and when there's no other alternative. In countries where religion is in countries where religion is not so mainstream, people are actually happier.
No, the thing is, that's not entirely true. People have. Yeah, people feel more life satisfaction if they participate in religious activities, but it doesn't have to do with the religion itself, but rather with participating in spiritual activities and gatherings, which makes people happy.
Without religion, healthier alternatives that provides just that service, without all the baggage, without the unfair competition, the monopoly, and the tax advantages, and the enforcement of government. That's okay. Enforcement of government and all the unfair, it's hard to compete with religion providing those services in almost everywhere, right?
It's impossible.
Without religion, the market will provide healthier ways of supplying for those demands.
We still need that. I would contest that is at the current time possible. But yeah, I get the point. Yeah. Okay. Z Junkbox said, "Is religion still necessary in today's modern?" I read that. Could radical Islam even be? Hey, I will not read these super chats anymore. Okay, I will go through them. Thomas Garcia said, "Could radical Islam ever be destroyed when it's supported by the left, the Catholic Church, most Western governments, and private corporations?"
Yes. Next.
One Derative said, "What's Afrocentric bull poop? People like that also claim that Egypt was black." That's Afrocentric bull poop. People like that also claim that Egypt was black. Oh yeah, okay, I get it. Samir Singh said, "Nobody was outraged by criticism, but criticized Hinduism over its text, not over imaginary nonsense."
I will do both. I will do both.
He will do both. Arjun said, "The Islamic threat is worldwide only because it is not as implausible as Hinduism." I would disagree. I think it's just Hinduism has a completely different nature. It's a nation religion, whereas Islam is supposed to be an expansionist religion. Objective Reality said, "It is strange, but there is more resistance to anti-Islam activism than anti-Hindu activism because Hindu tolerance mistakes Islamic apologists for activists." Samir Singh said, "If you want to normalize blasphemy laws by showing blasphemy law is important. I think maybe criticizing religion over text makes more sense toward normalizing blasphemy laws than hurling insults."
Because when it comes to normalizing blasphemy, criticizing religion wouldn't have gotten you this reaction, right? Criticizing the text, I will criticize the text, but if criticizing the text wouldn't have gotten you this reaction, that means it's not a problem that requires fixing. If calling Cali sexy gets this reaction, that shows that that's a problem that needs fixing. Next.
Yeah. Harris Sultan said, "Love you guys." Jordanian Christian said, "Will you sacrifice your life for Pakistan?" I'm just skipping Harris Sultan because we already read that earlier and reacted to it. But thanks, Harris Sultan. Jordanian Christian said, "Will you sacrifice your life for Pakistan?"
No.
I will not. Saint Miles said, really enjoyed this show and hearing Navabi talk. Great work, AP. Stay away from Islam. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Miles, as always. Thank you so much. By the way, F Pakistan. Can I say that? Harsh Truth said, Armin is basically Muhammad reborn. He abused pagan goddesses. Muhammad did the same to prove a point, I must add.
Didn't we
No.
address that? Like, yeah.
Muhammad didn't do that to prove a point. Muhammad did that to destroy and annihilate his local polytheist Arab religion by force, including killing people and enslaving them.
Did Muhammad just said, like, when he had the upper hand, when he became empowered, did he just like, hey, you guys can practice your pagan religions, but I'm just going to mock them while you guys are free to practice it? Did he do that? Did I go to India and I, with my army, and go into the temples and destroy other people's property and destroy their idols and told people to submit to my ideology or be killed? Did I do that? Like, come on, guys. It's like light years away from each other. Like, are these people joking or are they just absolute morons?
They actually think that. Yeah, there are people who think very strange things. There are people who think the moon landing was a hoax.
Like, I'm sorry, I have to tell you this. You're an idiot. Like the person that just said this. Like, you are an idiot. Like, maybe go work on like your critical thinking skills. Like, you could be better. Like, there's hope for you. Okay, you are a moron, but I can tell you that you can stop being a moron. It's possible. Like, try working on that. But
like there are people here in the chat saying unsubscribe from these effing assholes. Like,
wait, you swore.
Whatever. For me, I mean, the only thing that I did here was to say, hey, I didn't even agree with Armin, and I still think I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done what Armin did. I'm here saying, hey, Armin has the right to do that, and you have the right to do what you're doing. So I'm completely a mediator here, who's like, hey, whatever, man. But I am being insulted and called by people to be canceled and unsubscribed and insulted because I'm just standing here in the middle and not attacking you.
Yeah, see, it's ridiculous, and it shows there's a problem that needs to be dealt with.
I see. Yeah. I see. Harsh Truth said, Armin is basically, I read that. Mita Roy said, many Hindus supported your right to say what you wish. They only said they found your comment distasteful. The issue isn't that you addressed her sexuality, but that you addressed only by her sexuality. Well, the people filed reports against Armin and...
No, yeah, I mean, I'm not... First of all, the people that find me distasteful, that's not what we're addressing. I'm talking about the people that are coming with the death threats and the pornographic images of my mother, and also the lawsuits. And also, so... First of all, I didn't reduce her. You know, this is so ridiculous. If I say somebody is sexy, that doesn't mean that's the only thing about them. That's not think people. If you say like, oh my God, look at that Bollywood actor, he's so sexy. Does that mean that there's nothing else about him? Does that really mean that there's nothing else about him? You guys, again, think harder.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, Armin thinks I'm sexy, for example, but he doesn't think that is the only thing. I'm just kidding. Spider the Ateo said, didn't say anything, made a super sticker with a little cute fox. Jordanian Christian said in a super chat, I will be army and save Pakistan and destroy India. Dude. Anirban Ghosh said, the fact that we are objectifying, sexualizing a woman, a mother figure, and calling it freedom of speech while calling hijab wrong is hypocrisy. That's... Again, we talked about this before, but this is not what freedom of speech is about. Freedom of speech just means you are allowed to say that specific thing, not that no one can be offended about it. That's not what it's about.
This is your Islam shrine. Like, this is influence of Islam and Hinduism. The fact that you see something sexy and you're acknowledging that it's sexy, you're like, oh my God, this is so misogynist, objectifying women. No, it's like being honest with what you're saying in front of your freaking eyes, okay?
I have to say one certain thing. I have to say one thing. People who really want to play a hero and want to stand up to defend the honor of their goddess Kali, as much as I respect you, as much as I respect whatever you're doing, people who stand up and feel the need to defend the honor of that woman because they consider her their goddess and their mother figure should put more effort into establishing the rights and the freedoms and the equality of real women in their society. Please focus on that. Stop being protective of women. You don't need to do that.
Metro,
I don't
I'm
think.
standing up for. Oh God,
I don't think Callie needs you to protect her.
no, Callie. Again, if I ever come in contact with Callie, I'm the person that you should be worried about. Okay,
Yeah.
I am the person that you should be worried about. And also, by the way, this is another thing. A lot of people think like, oh, it's a mother figure, so you can't call her sexy. This is why on dating profile, women, female, mothers do not mention that they're mother, like people on dating apps, because they think like you can't be a mom and sexy at the same time, right? This is like a taboo. Like this is like, oh, like you're sexy until you're a mom. And then after you're mom, then you're not sexy anymore. And this is such a sad thing to say. Like, no, here, let me tell you to all the mothers out there, you could be a mom and you could be sexy at the same time. You being a mom does not take away anything from your sexiness, okay? You could be a mother. Yeah. So do not let anybody tell you that, oh, you're a mom. Stop telling you that you're not sexy anymore because you're a mom. Okay? That's another taboo that we need to break, okay?
Okay,
Dear
mothers.
Dear mothers, you're sexy.
Dear mothers, Armin Navabi finds you sexy. Okay, let's move on. PW said in a super chat, is it a good idea to desensitize personal bond between human in general as well? It's a cause of unreasonable depression in certain cases. Human productivity will also increase. Man, what have you done? I'll move quickly forth. Singh Harjinder said, Hindu Dharma, not religion, creates open society. Note, there is no concept of blasphemy or one true path or God. There has never been. Please understand that. Can't comment on that. Debo514 said, hey AP, how do you feel about the rise of nationalist and pro-Islamic propaganda by the Erdogan regime? Ertuğrul, LOL, in relationship with Greece. Oh man, this is a long issue. First off, F Erdogan. We have distributed many Fs tonight, but F Erdogan. Erdogan is a horse, whatever that means. Erdogan can suck it, and and so can his entire government. And the Islamist sentiments are just a revival of Islamist sentiments that have been suppressed over a very long time. They will not keep up because the youth in Turkey is very much against this whole trend that is going on, and they will eventually turn things around. So yeah, F Erdogan.
Make a video about this.
Okay, Erdogan is a horse. I will make a video about how Erdogan is a horse and why he's a horse and how we can ride the horse. Aaron Larson said in a super chat, I support Armin's right to be stupid. See, where's all Weird Al's song, Dare to be Stupid?
Like you think this is about you.
Okay. Crusader General said, most Muslims are loyal members of their cult, and no matter how disgusting it is perceived to be, they will never leave. Islam was born by the sword, and only by the sword it can be destroyed. I completely disagree.
Yes, very much. Did you actually see the statistics in Iran, recent one that came out that showed half of? Yeah. Can you do a video on that?
Maybe I should. I don't know.
Yeah, like this shows like, people are like, look at how things are changing so fast.
Yeah,
look how much
are losing their faith.
Yeah, they're losing. People are leaving Islam in much larger numbers than we ever. I was very optimistic, but even I couldn't predict it. These results.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Yeah. F Islam. Samir Singh said that made no sense. If you are able to criticize religious text, we're in need of normalizing blasphemy. I'll leave that to Armin again. That made no sense. If you are able to criticize religious text, then what is there? Why is there a need for normalizing blasphemy? Whatever. We talked about that.
That makes no sense. Somebody says that makes no sense. It followed up by something that makes absolutely no sense right after. But go on.
Singh Harjinder said, mocking something without knowing about is fine, but to criticize something, you need to learn about it. Just my thought. Set up a debate.
That's why I haven't yet gotten deep into criticizing it, because I'm learning about it, but the mockery of it is needed given how sensitive you guys are. Yeah.
Just my thought. Set up a debate between Armin and True Indology or Rajiv Malhotra, please. I will become your Patreon, I promise. I'm completely open to doing that. Dear True Indology, I will sit here and have you guys talk to each other.
You will debate them. You will accept they will say lovely things about Hinduism, and you're not going to push back against Hinduism because that's not what you do. You don't push back against Hinduism.
No. I will just sit here and let you people talk.
Oh,
okay. I don't care.
Okay. Fine, let's do that.
Okay, please contact me, dear True Indology, or anyone else who wants to take that role. I'm gay made a super chat. Did they just make the super chat because they wanted me to say I'm gay? Is that what's happening here? Because that's what it feels like to me. I think I got. Aaron Larson made a super chat and said, "So Armin thinks Kali is a MILF." Is that what you think, Armin?
I guess so. And the good thing about her is that she will always be young because she's a goddess. She never ages.
Those are big words to speak. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Thanks. That's
but
all.
Come on, guys. Your goddess, can you really blame me? I mean, look at Kelly. Come on, look at her. She's powerful. She's sexy. Who wouldn't want to be with her? I mean, I guess you guys can't be with her because she's your mommy. But she's not my mommy, okay? And if she wasn't your mommy, wouldn't you want to be with her? Come on. I mean, look at her. Seriously.
Wait. What did you just say?
I said she's your mommy. So maybe they don't understand me because it's their mommy and they don't get how sexy she can be. Look at this. Yeah, I get it now. She's your mom. So you don't understand why she could be sexy because people don't look at their moms like that, right? But you have to understand she's not my mom, and that's why she's sexy to me. Okay?
that does make sense. That does make sense. I mean,
exactly.
It does make sense. But if you want to be protective about your mom, which is why you find it offensive that Armin calls your mom sexy, if that's what is happening here, then I don't think this should really. I mean, this is a kind of an honor issue.
Yeah, but you have no right to tell your mom what to do with her sex life and how to express herself, right? She's your mom, but she is also an independent, powerful woman. She doesn't need you to tell her what to do with her dating life, right? Yes, you have to let go. You think she's powerful and you want to empower women. Let her. You are grown adults and you left the house. She's your mom and she has her own independent life.
Yep.
You have no right to tell her who to date, who to be with, and how to express herself sexually.
Yeah,
that's female empowerment. You cannot tell her again. That's why I said, why don't you go put a hijab on her? Because you guys were sounding like Muslims.
Yep. Stop imposing your dirty Western ideas of freedom and self-determination and equality on people. Right. It's ridiculous. Okay, that's all we want to do for tonight. One more super chat from Harris Sultan, and then I'll leave. Harris Sultan said, some Hindus think Kali is their mother. If Armin hooks up with Kali, would that make Armin the father of these? Shut.
Hey, I'm moving in. I'm moving in as your mom's boyfriend. Imagine Hindus coming to me and be like, "You're not my real dad. I'm not going to listen to you."
This is what the hell, man? Oh my god. Yeah. I didn't say it. Okay. Yeah. Fantastic. Okay, we should go, man. It's been 3 hours. What the hell? Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Thanks so much for joining the game. By the way, Armin Navabi is on Atheist Republic. He has his channel over at Atheist Republic. You can find the link to that down there, right in the description. If you go there, and please subscribe to Armin Navabi. He has nice, great, brilliant talks, good humor about all kinds of stuff, especially concerning religion and Islam. He should focus on Islam more. I think
I do focus on a lot of Islam.
I know. I like it when you talk about Islam. I love it. It makes me feel good. But as I said, the link is below in the description. Atheist Republic is below in the description. You can go into the description, click the link, subscribe to Atheist Republic. Armin Navabi's there almost every day. That is all for tonight. Is there anything you want to say, Armin?
Stay away from Islam.
Whoa, stay away from Islam. Okay. I thought you wanted to add more thoughts to this, but whatever. That was good too. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Have a fantastic night. Fantastic day. I will see you again. And yes, now say it, Armin. Come on, now say it.
Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.